And we are live, WrestlePurists Podcast 106, hosted by myself, Charlie, and the Hooper. Manny the Hooper has returned. We've got a lot to get into, as always, including our weekly AEW Dynamite review. But first things first, please like, subscribe, send any questions, any texts, anything like that. We'll get them read out. Hit the post notifications. Hope everyone's doing good. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone, to all our US friends over there. And to Manny the Hooper, of course. Me and Charlie, I don't know, I'll lock one up for my US friends or something later on today.
Yeah,
but happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Manny the Hooper, you have returned as a Thanksgiving gift. How's it going?
My morning's going good compared to some people's.
Whoa. What's that mean? What's happened?
A certain basketball player is getting packed up right now. I mean,
I know you. I saw that. See, even across the pond, man, we know when an NBA player gets outed as a paedophile, So that spreads far and wide. Trust me, man.
So and then I don't know. I got to cook later for a party at 5. So it's gonna be a long day.
Why did you huff a Thanksgiving party? That sounds like a good thing, and you huff and look to the side like it's a chore, What's going on there, bro?
It kind of is. I mean, it's just a lot of chaos going on right now. So that I got to do.
Well, I hope you have a good time anyway, But Charlie, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. I do not celebrate, but hope everyone else is having a good one that celebrates. I haven't really done anything today. I've done some writing. I'm fixing my sleep schedule. It's about it.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's an early one. I think this is one of the earliest podcasts we've ever done. Genuinely, noon Eastern. It's 5 p.m. here in the UK, but because me and Charlie are basically on US sleep schedules. It's it feels early for me as well, even though it's dark out and all that stuff. It's weird. It's weird. But we're here. We're going to review Dynamite. Continental Classic got underway yesterday. The lineups got announced yesterday, and I want to kind of talk about that a bit. We did our live reaction stream for the Continental Classic bracket yesterday, and it was a good time. It looks like a lot of people tuned into it as well. So appreciate everyone who tuned into that one. If you haven't seen it, and I don't know, you've got a spare. What is it, like 3 hours? then tune into it, I guess.
We were just getting shit after. It was very funny.
But Manny the Hooper, I believe, was at work, and we didn't get to see his reactions and his takes on the Blue League and the Gold League. So we're gonna I want to start there. I want to talk about the Continental Classic, and we've had a day to sleep on it and stuff like that, and talk about some predictions, what league we prefer, all that good stuff. But Manny, do you think? Look at the way he's sitting already. All right, Manny, do you think that the lineup for the Continental Classic delivered? That's the first thing I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, I think it delivered. I was okay with Jay Lethal being in it because I thought he was going to be a good wrestler, but then after last night's, I don't know how many average good matches I can have. They probably put a Takeshita in there or something, to even it out. But besides that, I mean, I'm pretty happy, and I was really shocked because Tony Khan never puts this many good wrestlers in one tournament. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, it does definitely feel like a little bit of a step out of the norm for these tournaments. Like there's like one or two clear pin eaters. Like you're going to expect Daniel Garcia to lose quite a few of his matches, but that kind of fits the story that you hope that they're telling at the moment, and he's not just losing these matches for nothing. Then of course there's Jay Lethal as well, which is kind of the one that he's been getting it on Twitter from some of the AEW faithfuls. Like when they saw the lineup, it's just kind of like Jay Lethal does kind of stick out as the one that doesn't have a lot of fanfare, to say the least. But
it's so funny that Tony Khan loves that era of Ring of Honor so much.
We all do. I just don't love Jay Lethal as much as he does.
Yeah.
I would have put Roddy in that spot, but that's just Roddy or Takeshita. But I think Roddy would have been awesome.
Roddy's got more important things to do, clearly.
to one person, you know.
Mr. Hank said, Manny without Mass in the background feels weird. It does.
It does, yeah.
It is weird. I know they've been down for a while, and this isn't a new thing, but I know it's a lot of effort to get them back up, Manny, but sometimes you just got to do these things enough, Manny. You know, the people want it, you know.
They don't collect as much dust anymore in my room. I mean, that's why. It was a pain cleaning them.
Well, you know, sometimes these are the risks we have to take. Anyway, Continental Classic. Manny, what league do you prefer? Blue League, Gold League? Where are you finding yourself? Live chat, where are you finding yourself? You a Gold League kind of guy? You a Blue League kind of guy? I want to know.
Yeah, which league's which? I mean, I don't know which one's which.
Blue League. All right, I'll read out. I'll read them out. You know, I'll read them out. All right, in the Blue League, and I believe all the matches will be taking place on AEW Collision. Is Brody King, Andrade, Eddie Kingston, Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Daniel Garcia. And the Gold League, which kicked off last night on AEW Dynamite, consists of Roosh, Jay White, John Moxley, Swerve Strickland, Mark Briscoe, and Jay Lethal.
I like the Collision one better. I mean, if anything, I might, to make it perfect, I would have switched Andrade and Roosh. That's what I would have done. But besides that, I think it's perfect. So.
Yeah, there's something about the Blue League. I can't quite put my finger on it though. I'm not 100 because I was looking at it. It's like the Gold League is also like incredible. You know, it's like okay, like yeah, Jay Lethal's in there, but you know, it's you got Mark Briscoe. You know, that makes up for everything for me at least anyway. Yeah. So
I'm a Gold League. I'm a Gold Leaguer.
Gold Leaguer.
It's got all my favourites in. That you put Swerve, Jay White, and Roosh and Mark Briscoe in the same bracket. I'm there. Like that's my bracket. And Moxley, like
I have
two great brackets, genuinely.
I have a hot take. Out of this Gold League, I think we can all come to terms that Roosh might be the MVP of this Gold tournament. You know, this Gold League, and I think he might be the best wrestler in this little bracket of people. Ooh. So.
Well, you are huge on Bruce, so you'd say that if anyone was in the Gold League.
No, I wouldn't. I'm looking at the picture, and I saw what he did yesterday. I haven't seen.
How would I?
Jay White. I haven't seen Jay White wrestle like that in a long time, and he fucking brought that dog out in him. And you see how he got when Roosh brought out the extension cord, the place went up. They went crazy for the extension cord.
Yeah, they did pop for it, which is very funny.
Yeah, then after Roosh, I mean, it's a toss-up between Jay or Moxley or Swerve. I mean, but obviously this is the Roosh tournament for me.
Yeah.
Listen, every Roosh match absolutely sticks out on the card, especially when he's in there with someone that can quote-unquote hang with him or, you know, just not get ran over by him, you know. And even last night, you know, he absolutely brought it to Jay White, and Jay White had to, you know, he had to grit his teeth in there a couple of times. So.
Yeah, those chops, man, fucking brutal. But we'll get to that.
Absolutely, we'll get to that. All right, so Manny's a Blue Leaguer, Charlie's a Gold Leaguer, and if I'm being completely transparent and honest with our wonderful audience as always, I'm a Blue Leaguer. There's just something about it, man. You know, Eddie at the front with the two belts. Yeah. You know, it's
very real.
It just, you know, there's just in the Gold League. I'm sorry, but you know, Jay Lethal does absolutely nothing for me. So,
yeah. And I'm convinced they didn't put Roosh in the Blue League because he might have killed Bryan. I think if they wrestled, he might have killed him.
So let's hope they don't make the final
matches this year. Like when they wrestled in like February, it's one of my favorite matches of the year.
That's beautiful stuff. It was a beautiful one. That was one of the best Dynamites of the year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Karan 100 rupees. Appreciate the super chats. Keep them coming, people. Roosh taking 90% of a match and then losing not cleanly is his template for guys he knows won't assert themselves. Happened with Jungle Boy, Beast. He's an animal in there. You know, he'll chew you up, bro. He will chew you up.
And he'll cup check you, too.
Manny tweeted yesterday after the Roosh match, like, someone should keep account of how many cup checks Roosh does. Like, These are the stats Manny the Hooper asked for with his AEW Dynamite matches, you know. It's crazy out there, man.
That's what he questions you as a man out there in front of everybody. He says, "Come on, bring it to me, man." It's crazy because he's only done it twice in AEW, and it was only to Jungle Boy and Jay White. I don't know what it says about everybody else he's wrestled, or just those two guys. I mean,
white dudes with long hair, you know. Could he get cup checks by but yeah, we're fans of Roosh and all these little quirks. Darren Walker, £5, appreciate you as always. Will Charlie sing today after watching her sing Judas on AEW TV last week? Welcome back, man.
Darren, you didn't have to call me out like that. I already got caught in 4K. I'm just pretending it didn't happen.
I mean, you and Alexia will forever be on those episodes of television. You know, it's it just killed me because I saw you post a picture before the show went on air, and I was like, "Oh shit, she's probably going to be on camera at some point." Yeah. And literally, as the show came on air, you and Alexia, I'm not even joking, were the very first people showing.
They show close.
Yeah, because the show opens with the pyro, and then it does a crowd shot, and because of the way it panned in, you and Alexia were literally the first people I saw on the show. Yeah. Oh, God bless. Good times on. And you did get caught.
For specific reasons, I don't really remember much of the collision taping, but I'm sure it was a great time.
Like you were singing Judas, so
I sure was.
You can't just blame the influence of that, you know. Mm-hmm. Oh man, he's disappeared. Scary times. All right, let's what else we got? What league do you prefer? We got Manny's thoughts on the lineup. What do we think the final's going to be? So, like, who do we think the league winners are going to be? Now that we've just kind of had a little look at them. Any quick suggestions off the bat? Who are
what's going to be the match on World's End, or
what's going to be the match at World's End? Who's going to make the final? Who's going to win the Gold League?
Briscoe versus Eddie.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm all in on it.
I'm going to eliminate Andrade Roosh because they obviously can't wrestle on New Japan. Jay White can't wrestle on New Japan.
Might be his way back in.
No, Eddie Kingston has to give him his blessing first. That was one of the...
But if the final is Jay White versus Eddie, and he beats Eddie, Eddie would give him his blessing.
I don't know. Eddie seems very spiteful kind of guy to do that. Especially when if he's at the first person to hold the Triple Crown.
True. A lot of people
are talking about it like it's a shoot, you know.
Yeah. I just think if they use this for Eddie versus Mox, it's kind of a waste of the tournament because they can go to that story so easily. You don't need a whole tournament to do that. Like, let this be something special for someone else. And everyone complains that they don't have like top baby faces. Make Mark Briscoe your top baby face. Let him win the tournament.
It'd be kind of funny
if down about it.
It'd be kind of funny if Claudio just takes it from Eddie again.
That'd be kind of peak.
That would be heartbreaking, man. You know, Claudio beats Eddie on the last day of the Blue League. You know, that would break some hearts. You know. I don't know. Blue League, it's no, like Charlie said, I think it would kind of be somewhat wasteful to use the first ever Continental Classic as a vehicle to get to Kingston versus Moxley because that's kind of already built. You know, like you can just do that anyway. You could, you could do that in 2 weeks. Not that I would suggest that because I'd want it to have like more of a build, but anyway.
Yeah.
I want Mark Briscoe to win. But, you know, Mark Briscoe... For me, Mark Briscoe or Swerve has to win the Gold League.
Mm-hmm.
For my personal enjoyment. Because Moxley getting to the final, it doesn't... Like, I love Max, but it's just kind of not where I want to see him at the moment.
Yeah.
And then from the Blue League, if it's Mark in the final... I'd kind of like to see Danielson be a prick to him. So you could do that. Then if it's Swerve, then I'd do Eddie in the final. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, people.
Someone in chat said Mark Briscoe is not a top babyface in a company that's trying to get a major TV renewal. Did you see do you see how over he is with the crowd?
Yeah, you make him on to jizzle.
Over Mox, and Mox is the ace of AEW.
You got to build stars. You got to build stars for jizzle. You know, the people that are already stars are who they are already. You know, so you don't need Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley and stuff to win this to elevate their star power. They are who they are. You know, even guys like Claudio. To be very honest with you, everyone loves Eddie, but it would be great for him to, you know, to just. The triple crown Eddie, you know, that's very, very, very tempting.
Very rude.
But a guy like Mark Briscoe has all the tools to be a top baby. Like, he's a great promo. He carries himself great. He's super, 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 super likable. He's a great wrestler, etc., etc. There's the built-in story, of course. People love Mark Briscoe, bro. He's someone that I think you can roll the dice with a bit and try and give that push. And if he connects on a big, big level, then it's like you've really got something there. Then if he doesn't, then it's like no one's going to blame you for trying with Mark Briscoe, bro. He's fucking awesome, you know.
I can just imagine him trying to hit the J Driller throughout the whole tournament and then finally winning the finals with it, and how much that would like work with the crowd. And bro, I don't understand why people don't see the vision here. Maybe I'm just a bit delusional, but
I'm gonna be cool, man. You know, I kind of want Andrade to win it.
I wouldn't be mad at it, bro. I would not be mad at it.
There's no one I'd be mad at winning it.
It'd be like his big AEW rival. You know, I know he's been in the company for a while, but like not.
It kind of makes sense too with the kind of presentation they're doing with him, I guess, with Lana, right? I mean, like this big agent kind of signing kind of thing or whatever, like this big deal. So, I mean, because I know that he probably couldn't wrestle New Japan because of CMLL, but at the same time, like they wouldn't put him in this tournament if he couldn't do it. So I don't know. I'm going to go with Andrade and Swerve as the finalists for this. With Andrade going over.
Yeah, I won't be mad at that. All right, Charlie. It's all over to you now.
Me?
Yeah, you got to pick a final.
I've already picked my final. I want it to be Mark and Eddie. I'm dead set on this.
Dead set on it.
Listen,
who I want to win is Mark Briscoe. I don't think we need to make him the top babyface of the entire company. Like, that seat is pretty comfortably taken by MJF, you know. But like, would I like MJF's stuff to have some tweaks? Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's the world champion. He's the top babyface in the company pretty clearly, etc., etc., etc. But I would like to see Mark Briscoe kind of get elevated, you know, into like an important role in the company. So,
listen, I wanted Mark Briscoe to challenge for the Ring of Honor World Championship at World's End anyways. And I tweeted that like 2 or 3 weeks before this tournament was announced. And then this tournament fell into my lap. And now I'm convinced that this is what's going to happen. So,
okay. Well, my actual predictions would be of what I think's going to happen will be Kingston Mox final or Swerve Danielson final. It would be like my predictions, what I think TK will actually do. But I'm going to be pushing that Mark Briscoe agenda, so tune in. See, you know, after last night, because he got cheered, I'm seeing like a lot of people on Twitter. He's seen it mentioned in the chat. I think Sir Jizzle said it. Was it? Yes. People, this talk of Swerve's probably going to turn babyface or Swerve should turn babyface. Just because, okay, he had an awesome moment, of course, and he's got the, like, you know, Prince Nana and stuff gets cheered and stuff anyway. But like him as a character has been getting boos in like recent like months and stuff. He had an awesome match with Hangman, and he got very over, and the crowd, especially the AEW audience, has like a massive appreciation for that. So of course he got cheered when he came out yesterday. You know, it's almost like a respectful one. I don't think the solution to that is to kind of just give in to it and be like, let's flip him babyface. Especially somebody like Swerve, who I think, in my opinion, is so clearly naturally better as a heel, and he has been throughout his career. So I think just because he did something awesome with Hangman, you know, and he's going to get cheers for it because he's just an awesome wrestler, you know. I don't think you should give in to that and just flip him babyface. If anything, that's actually quite lazy. You should think of something to get heat back on him, you know?
Did people not remember what he did to Nick Wayne not 3 months ago? Like, he is a diabolical heel. He just had a really fucking cool match. Like, and putting him against Jay Lethal in the first match after that Texas Death match was a choice. But when he has a match against a babyface, like, people will see again that he's a heel through and through, and he's great at it.
Yeah, and also he's so naturally. He's just so much better as a heel. I think he feels just so much more natural, and he's all of his best performances throughout his career have been as a heel, I believe. So, yeah, babyface Swerve. I don't think that's even an order they should think about. And if you go to our interview, cheap plug again, what AO and EB done with him, he's talking about like after losing at Wembley, like these first few months has been like the transition of his character into being like someone who's fucking lost it basically. Mm-hmm. We first saw it with him attacking Nick Wayne, as Charlie just mentioned, and he was like, "Who's going to be my first victim?" And he was like, "It was Hangman Adam Page." And then, of course, he just then nearly damn near murdered him in the Texas Death match. So for him to be like, "Oh yeah, I've arrived as a big heel now," just to flip babyface in a couple months would be, like I say, it's actually quite lazy. You know, It would be very lazy of like TK. I don't think they are, but I've seen a lot of fans suggest it and stuff. I just don't think that would be the move at all for Swerve.
Just have him kill someone like Mark Briscoe, and he's gonna get booed again very easily. Like,
if it becomes a reoccurring issue, in the sense of like, say if he kills a Mark Briscoe and they're like, "Oh, that was awesome," and they're cheering the next week or something, you know. I don't know. I don't know what I'd do, but there's definitely options. One of them that I thought of, I don't think many people like, which is I'd spend a couple of weeks really getting Nana over, and then I'd have Swerve fucking kill him. That would 100% get a lot. That would get a lot of heat on him. I know it would. So.
Well, I think the problem is like it happens all the time in all facets of media where the cool bad guy is gonna eventually become cool and everybody's gonna like him. It happens all the time. So the way Swerve just carries himself and the way he wrestles and all that is just he's just a fucking cool guy. I mean, it sucks. Like, I mean, it's not like the old wrestling where the guys be heel all the time. So. I think they're gonna have to balance it to where he can still do cool stuff and be cool, like this cool anti-hero kind of thing, but also be like a scumbag. But I don't know. I don't know how. It's kind of hard to juggle because that's what happened with MJF for a bit, where he was a scumbag, but then he was having good matches, so people started cheering him and all that for his good matches. So I mean, it's a fine line to walk. So let's see how they handle it.
Especially like with MJF. MJF was such a like cartoony heel almost.
Yeah.
You know, like it was so like played up, like purposely, and he done a great job of doing that. It's what got him to the dance and why he's big part of the reason why he's so popular now. It would be hard for him to find that kind of balance that Manny was talking about trying to find with certain wrestlers. I think look at obviously he's the biggest star in the business, but look at Roman Reigns, bro. Like they ain't flipped him babyface because people cheer him and shit. You know, people love Roman Reigns, bro. Like everyone, his music hits, people stand up in the crowd and throw ones up. You know, like and he has that cool factor as well. Like Manny said, like I don't. Yeah, I think there's smarter ways around it than just being like, oh, he's getting cheered, it's flipping babyface, and it doesn't make sense, especially for Swerve as a character right now, you know. So I'm against it.
Me too. He doesn't need to be. But you can't turn him babyface after what he did to Hangman, when Hangman is arguably one of the most beloved babyfaces in AEW. Like, right now, anyways. He's going to turn heel soon, but that's a different conversation.
What if he doesn't, Charlie?
Well, he lost 2 matches in a row, and I stood 10 toes down on that, so I'm going to be right eventually. It was real dicey for a while. I was like, if Swerve doesn't win at Full Gear, I'm going to look like a dick. But then he won, so it was fine.
I am actually genuinely interested to see the approach creatively with Hangman coming out of this, you know, because we didn't see any of the Elite last night, did we?
No.
Didn't see any of them. So yeah, I'm interested to see kind of what mode Hangman's gonna be in. You know, is he gonna be at the bar drinking again? You know,
he's gonna be looking for new friends. What is he gonna be doing?
That's spiteful. He's gonna be.
I mean, he only has 2 character arcs. You know, be badass and get sad, and then look for friends, and then be badass again.
Nah.
He's a very deep layered character, man. You know,
he is.
Charlie will tell
anxious
you.
Millennial cowboy.
Hangman should have been in this tournament. He should have been pissed off and taking somebody out and be like, his focus should be like, I need to get my hands on Swerve. I don't know. That's just
they can't circle back to it yet. Like,
no, and the thing is, he loses the tournament. Like, he takes somebody out, they put him in there, and then he loses it, and it makes him more mad. So then you have 2 mad guys, like, you know, crazy dudes going at each other. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a few. AEW's roster's so deep as well that there's loads of people that you can kind of just throw into that tournament if you wanted to. You know, Hangman's absolutely one of the people close to the top of the list, but
I hope they do something new and fresh with Hangman in terms of like who he even like feuds with, because the Swerve feud was so fresh. It's like, let's keep going with that. Let's have someone else be like, well, now he's even further down in the dumps. Like, I'm now gonna have a go at him. Like, but make it someone cool, not. Make it someone cool, please. I don't need Jeff Jarrett trying to go after Hangman. Please, God.
Takeshita. Takeshita murder him.
Yeah, be sick. You can take the losses. It's fine.
Yeah, that's the thing I think with like when a big star that is somewhat Teflon. Like Hangman isn't quite Teflon. Like I think we've seen that this year. You know, he's been revived twice. Do you know what I mean? Like in the space of 1 year. So he's not quite Teflon, but with like some of the top stars, I do think like when they lose, they you can kind of take advantage of that streak being broken. So like for example, you know, let's say for example, Samoa Joe defeats MJF at World's End. Yeah. Then after that, MJF has now lost after a fucking year or however long. Like I'd use that to then get Jay White's win back over him, you know?
Yeah.
Because you can kind of the loss it's not gonna like off-throw all of the other stuff that he's doing as much, you know? So that's just kind of an example. It's like you can probably sneak one more loss in for Hangman, which would still be a huge win for someone else, you know, like a Takeshita.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm looking forward to the downfall of Hangman Adam Page, you know?
Me too. It's going to be great.
As a fan, you know?
I fucking love Hangman. And if they do this right, this could be just some really good stuff for AEW.
Did you see Javel's comment right there where Malachi Black missed Hangman, he turns into an alcoholic?
Listen, ignoring the spitefulness of the comment, I just think that the buckshot lariat into the spinning heel kick that Malachi Black does would be pretty fucking cool.
Oh, but that would be very dangerous.
It'd be fucking
that would be very. That's like
taking his head off.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
That would be very scary because when Hangman launches himself over the ropes like that, like there's no break. Yeah, there's no break. You can't just stop. You know,
Malachi Black's gonna do the shoot what Roosh does, where he puts the head down, the fake head, and kicks it into the stance. Malachi's gonna send that jaw flying. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh man! If you could pull it off.
If they could pull it off properly, it'd look sick. But they're teasing a Blackpool Combat Club versus House of Black at the moment, which means if we get Claudio versus Malachi Black in a singles, which we're not going to get because I never get the singles matches that I want out of these fucking feuds.
Never.
They had great matches in WWE, so.
Charlie's 0 for 7 on singles matches that she wants out of tag feuds.
It's really bad. They just don't like giving me the matches I want. It's fine.
Yeah, it's a shame, you know.
I'm gonna get my Jay White Swerve match that I think I spoke about 2 weeks ago, so can't complain.
And finally, before we dive into Dynamite, a lot of the WrestlePurists audience will be well aware that Manny the Hooper, he's been a bit disenchanted lately. You know, he ain't been locked in, but the Continental Classic lineup, it seemed to wake up some life in him. You know, he was posting memes and everything. You know, he was back. He's been back for the past 24 hours. I don't know how long it'll last, but
it ended right away.
You could have saved it until we finished the review, but he watched AEW Dynamite last night, so he is talking from a place of expertise. He's back. He's ready to go, people. So yeah, man, AEW Dynamite last night in Chicago. Yeah, it was in Chicago. Continental Classic. Absolutely. Continental Classic got underway first night of it, and we got some Gold League matches. And to open up, we had Jay Lethal versus Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland came out with kind of like his shoulder was all taped up and stuff. Kind of would have liked him to sell the death match a little bit more, you know. Had his head taped or some shit, you know, some plasters or I don't know. But yeah, his shoulder was taped up, and him and Jay Lethal had a match. It was very professionally worked, you know, of course, you know, very good fundamentals and all that good stuff and very solid workers, but the match just didn't really have any meat to it. Manny's given up. That's
No, my dog's outside keep barking and barking. I gotta go see what they're doing.
All right. So Swerve Strickland versus Jay Lethal. To be honest, I didn't think there was a lot to it, although it wasn't particularly a bad match per se, you know. It was more just kind of boring. That's kind of the word that strikes me with this one. It was quite boring, to be very honest. It's not like Swerve looked bad out there. It's not like Lethal looked bad out there. They just had a match, you know. I'm not going crazy, am I, Charlie?
No, I also thought it was very boring. I'm just not a Jay Lethal fan. Like, I think he's like fundamentally very good, and he's like a great hand with talents. It's like, I don't need to see him wrestle Swerve. Swerve's incredible, and I should not be bored by Swerve matches. Like, especially coming out of Full Gear and what he just did with Hangman. Like, I don't know, it was just odd. And the crowd didn't really seem into it, because I don't think, like, they were cheering Swerve, because no one, like, Jay Lethal's not exactly portrayed as someone we should care about in AEW. As much as he keeps getting put on the TV, he never really wins anything. Like, so it was just a case of, well, he's just kind of here, and he's just kind of wrestling, and I don't know, it was alright. I was just a bit bored.
We spoke yesterday when we did like our quick preview, when we found out what the matches were going to be, and it was like, how did they play this match with it being heel versus heel without boring the life out of me? It was like,
yeah.
And I still think this now, especially in hindsight after watching the match. So I should have just killed him, man. So I should have just killed him like in like 2 minutes or something, and just had like a, you know, I ain't fucking around in this tournament style performance, you know. But yeah, Manny, what did you think of Lethal versus Swerve?
It was like the most. I told you earlier, it was like the most professional wrestling match I've ever seen. Just two guys going out there and just having like just a solid match, and it was nothing more, nothing less. I think maybe Jay Lethal forgot he was on TV sometimes, because he did. I think he cussed out a fan twice, didn't he, or something like that?
I think he said "screw you."
Oh, okay. I think he said "f yours." I don't know. I was just like, I don't know. It was just funny seeing that, and I think you can tell that Swerve was kind of beat up from his match. So whatever. I think Jay Lethal's just gonna have like the solid 2.5 star match. You know, he's gonna give everybody that. So whatever. Move on to the next one. You know,
I would have took like 8 minutes off this and put it on the main event. If I'm being entirely.
How long did it go?
Like 12.
11, 12. I don't know. Someone in the chat said 12, so that's what I'm basing it on.
There's no way that match went 12 minutes.
It felt long.
It felt like 20 minutes.
I went right to the time limit. It was 1957. No, I think it was about 11, 12. I think that's about right, but like they're saying in the live chat. But yeah, I would have took quite a decent chunk of time off this and probably added it to the main event or something. because they didn't get, that's going to an overrun to get to the end of Briscoe versus Mark. So, but yeah,
I was talking to someone about this for like a completely different reason, but there's like a lost art on American wrestling TV of just like quick sprints, like a quick 4 or 5 minute match, because you can do so much in 4 or 5 minutes if it's structured the right way. But no, everything has to be fucking 10 plus minutes and get all your shit. It's like, no, just wrestle for 4 minutes, do the cool shit, and get out of there. I don't need to see you fucking feeling each other out and warming up or whatever. Especially in matches like this.
Sounds like something Joe complains a lot about.
It probably does, yeah.
It's very much it's a subject. It's a subject that comes out. It's a subject that comes up on Worldwide a lot. Two wrestlers that we both like and we both want to see them wrestle, and we'll get announced from a match, and we'll be like, should go about 6 minutes, But yeah, Tony Khan is definitely. I don't know if victim is the right word, but he. Sometimes you look at matches that we get booked, especially on AEW, and it's kind of like, what's the purpose of this? And if the purpose is for someone to get over, you got to consider, should they make this a dominant win, which means that you don't have to go 12 minutes in every single TV match that you do, But yeah, like you said, there's kind of a lost art of some of, you can get a lot out of shorter matches, It's like I said, it would have made a statement if Swerve just killed Lethal in 90 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes or something, But with this, it's just Swerve just beat Jay Lethal in a match that I think everyone knew he was going to win anyway, So
yeah,
Monty,
it would have been much more memorable. Sorry. Go ahead,
Monty, you have to address this comment right here. It says,
which one?
It says, why do y'all wear hats? Monty's expected. Like, he's calling you bald, man. He's calling you.
Everyone Monty expected Manny, I guess, but Charlie too. The thing is, yeah, this is what it is. I'm not bald. but listen, my hair, when we first started doing the podcast, my hair was a mess. So like I was wearing hats because I wear a lot of hats anyway. I don't just put hats on for the fucking podcast, but I wear a lot of hats anyway. And now it's like, if I take my hat off, bro, like I couldn't just pull up to this podcast with no hat on because everyone would be like, "Whoa, holy shit!" So it's like now I'm in a position. Like if I took, even right now, if I took my hat off, everyone would be like, "Whoa!" So it's like I can't win now. Like I'm too deep in. I'm way too deep in. So the hat stays until maybe one day if you catch me in a suit or something, you know what I mean, and I'll upload a picture, or I'm at the WWE Hall of Fame, I'll about a hat.
I wear hats sometimes. I'm just having a bad hair day, so I put a beanie on. That's all there is to it.
Me, I just woke up not that long ago, so I have bad hair still.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie got the Fallout Boy fangirl look locked in. It's very 2016 Tumblr. I look like it all the time. It's very funny.
God bless. We have a good time, Hats, no hats, But
I didn't wear a hat yesterday. It's literally just however I like, if I like my hair on the day or not.
Yeah, you gotta respect it, Anyways. So that was Jay Lethal versus Swerve. Swerve, of course, got the win. 3 points for Swerve. The first 3 points of the Continental Classic go to Swerve. Next up, we had a Hook, Orange Cassidy, and Shibata interview, which was quickly interrupted by Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta was giving his bad boy attitude to Shibata, which I found kind of weird because, he pinned Hook. And I thought that would kind of be what they would segue into, like a FTW title match or some shit, And it seemed like Yuta's focus on this in this segment particularly was on Shibata and not on Hook. So interesting, I guess. Obviously, Wheeler's clearly, again, this is kind of a weird thing with the Blackpool Combat Club. I don't know if they're heels or faces, Wheeler was clearly a heel here, but I don't know. Charlie, does this confuse you as much as it does me?
Absolutely. I never know what's going on. I just cheer for him because I like all of the wrestlers, but I don't know if they're meant to be heels or faces anymore. It doesn't bother me as much as it bothers other people because of both Brian and Mox, and even Claudio is very obviously a heel, I feel. Like he is very much a heel. But like Brian and Mox, it depends who they're facing. And like I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna cheer for you regardless, so do whatever you want. Like
yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, isn't it? Because it's like, Claudio, yeah, definitely, I'd say I agree with you. He's pretty clearly a heel. But Mox and Danielson, who knows? And you've got Wheeler Yuta. It's like there's been points where he's been wrestling as a face because he's been with Mox or whoever the fuck, and then there'll be weeks where he's clearly a heel, and it's just like I think the dynamic as a group as a whole is like kind of weird.
I don't know. I think that kind of represents like what a real group of friends looks like. You just never know what they're all on. Like Moxie to me just seems like a real chill, laid back dude. But if you fuck with him, he's gonna go crazy on you. And then Brian's a dick, kind of. Claudio is a bully, and then Yuta is just that guy that talks shit because he knows he has friends that can just back him up whenever you want. So.
He's scrappy dude. It's very funny.
I don't know, it's just kind of a funny dynamic to watch. So. I mean, they're whatever. To me, I just see them as badasses, and badasses just do cool shit sometimes. So
I think they're going to be. I think they will kind of like round it out, and I think they'll be rounded out as baby faces.
Yeah. If you go into the House of Black feud, it makes more sense for them to be the baby faces in that.
Yeah, House of Black, and any of the other fans, the House of Black. There's Bullet Club who could feud with. They're on Collision as well. So, no, they are. No, they're not. Well, Bullet Club Gold just do what they want, don't they?
A lot of the factions do. Like, other than the Elite, who just kind of stay on Dynamite, they're not even really a faction anymore. So, who the fuck knows what's going on in AEW?
Yeah, I don't know. A couple of super chats before we keep it moving though. Karan, 100 rupees, appreciate it. Honestly, it's not a big deal, but having Swerve wrestle like that hurt babyface days after he cemented himself as the top heel was a weird choice. I mean, you can have Lethal work babyface, so it was yeah.
They had to get the Lethal match out of the way for Swerve, I feel.
Should have just killed him, man. I'm telling you, that was the fucking choice to make there. They should have just killed Lethal. $10, Will Chisholm, appreciate you as always, brother. I know why Kenny is not in this, but Kenny should be in this. I just blame Chris Jericho. I bet he pitched the team with Kenny, and Kenny's so nice he just went with it.
Sounds about right.
I mean, who knows? I don't know. No one's told me. But yeah, you have got to assume that the Jericho versus Don Callis feud thing, the Don Callis feud that started off as Kenny and then become more about Jericho, and he's now about more both of them, and now he's now the Golden Jets versus the Young Bucks.
I don't know how we got
here. When you say it out loud like that, it's
ridiculous.
Yeah, it does seem a bit ridiculous. There's a Kenny Takeshita singles match in the middle of this as well,
I genuinely have watched this and reviewed it week to week, and I could not plot it like on a timeline and tell you how we got from Takeshita and Kenny feuding to fucking, because that started in the middle of the BCC feud. Like, how did we get here? Why is Jericho involved?
And it seems like Jericho and Kenny are done with them, right? With the Callis family.
You would think, but
come on,
because they're going for the tag titles, aren't they?
They sure are. They have the opportunity now that the Bucks won and then never talked about until the feud.
They have the
opportunity.
I have feelings
about it, clearly. AEW's booking of this fucking tag division has driven me up the wall this entire year.
It has.
Like, it's driven me nuts.
Ibu has joined us in the live chat. I believe I've seen rumors of a Joe Hall, but saw it in the group in the live chat as well. So.
Oh, Joe's here.
Been treated.
When he said that, so very spiteful, man. Mason84 199, appreciate you as always. Black Miss Hangman becomes a boomer conservative. I mean,
oh dear, that would be the opposite for him.
That'd be an interesting storyline, brother. So Jizzle, $1.99, appreciate it. AEW desperately needs a cool top babyface. Swerve. No!
You already got
we are putting off.
You already got MJF. I mean, let's calm down, everybody.
Manny thinks MJF is very cool, people.
Mm-hmm. Biggest fan.
He's one of. All right. MJF and Adam Cole live promo. They both come out. They're both fucked. MJF has got a walking stick. Adam Cole, of course, is still on his crutches. They have to set up a chair in the middle of the ring so Adam Cole can sit down and shit. The beat up, the bro chat shows, they are beat up. But MJF, of course, he just successfully defended his title. He tries to put over Jay White a bit by calling him like a tough competitor and all that sort of stuff that people do after they've won a good title match. And he calls himself the best AEW champ ever. And he puts himself over a bit. Adam Cole gets on the microphone and he says that he's still fucked. Basically, his ankle is still fucked up. He's still a long way away from being able to walk it. And he hates that he can't help MJF. And then, there's a little bit. They're kind of just talking out there. And then
some bullshit,
then it cuts to black. Then it cuts to black. The devil comes up on the Titantron. He laughs. The devil goes off the screen, and then Samoa Joe's music hits. Samoa Joe comes out, and he wants to collect. He wants to make sure that he has his AEW World Title match. And at first, MJF doesn't want to give it him. He tells Samoa Joe that he can blow him. MJF doesn't want to. He don't want to live up to his end of the deal, And Adam Cole kind of convinces MJF that he should live up to his word and give Samoa Joe his title shot. MJF tries to make the match official for tonight in Chicago. But of course, MJF is fucked. I don't know why he would do that. He was just fired up, I think. And Samoa Joe was like, nah. No excuses. I want you 100%. Let's do it at World's End. And they agree. And the match was made official immediately. Samoa Joe challenging for the AEW World Title at World's End versus MJF. December 30th, I believe it is. New pay-per-view for AEW in MJF's. Is it in Long Island or is it just New York?
Long Island.
It's in Long Island, so MJF's hometown. And I think Samoa Joe should win because I think if you're going to drag Samoa Joe into kind of this feud and drag out his stuff with MJF to this point, I think you have to. If you don't pay it off with Samoa Joe, at least having a short title reign, then it's kind of like a waste of his time.
There's no way Samoa Joe agrees to put over this guy twice. I don't believe. There's no way he does. So I think he's gonna win.
Yeah, it's like MJF. Yeah, as much as we've done reviews we've reviewed all of his misses and we've reviewed all of his hits, and I've maintained this for quite a few weeks, especially in recent weeks with all the talk. I think he is very he still misses sometimes, and he's young enough to make his misses, Mm-hmm. But in general, I do think MJF knows bull, And knowing bull would mean that right now, you've got one chance to put the world title on Samoa Joe, This is your chance to do it. It's time to do it. He's going to do the right thing. Because MJF, he'll find his way back to the world title probably at some point in 2024, No one's going to think MJF is done in the world title scene after this reign. He's probably going to have multiple reigns with this belt, Samoa Joe, wrestling fans far and wide have been calling for a Samoa Joe world title run in a major company. Didn't get it in WWE. Didn't get it so far in AEW. Now you got time to right the wrongs. MJF knows bull. He's going to tell Tony Khan that he wants to do the right thing. And we're going to have a new world champion going into the new year, people. So it's going to be beautiful. Isn't it, Manny the Hooper?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome if Samoa Joe is a champ. But, man, I need this fucker away from this company, bro. I can't stand MJF.
Is it that bad? Do you find it that bad?
Yes, bro. I don't want to sit. I don't want to. Them fucking limping around like fucking. I was gonna say something crazy there. I can't say it, but
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna say it, but them just the visual, them just sitting there in the middle of the ring, just talking bullshit for 20 minutes or whatever, and then I'm just sitting there, just like, fuck, man. Like, is there something better we could be doing with our time? This is what I'm starting to think. Like, man, I'm not gonna be watching AEW fucking live. I'm just gonna be watching the tournament matches and moving on with my day because I don't care about their friendship and all that. Then they get all cutesy with it when MJF is talking about the devil and all that. Then they're panning down with the camera, and you just see when MJF is talking shit about the devil, how he's not scared of him or anything like that. And then you just see fucking Adam Cole smirking like that, like, you know, smirking, and he puts his hand in his pocket and then just turns the lights off. I mean, it's just so corny, so stupid, and I'm so glad that Samoa Joe is the only one making this serious, and he's the only one keeping focus on the title is important and not this hokey shit that, you know, that Adam Cole has to rein in MJF to make his commitments and all that. I mean, I'm just tired of it. I wish he didn't resign. I mean, fuck.
I just think, you know, Samoa Joe, everything about Samoa Joe goes on. You know, Samoa Joe is the real. Mm-hmm. He should be made world champion immediately. He's the best part of this MJF stuff, in my opinion.
Yes.
The Bro Chat Show stuff, of course, was on fire, especially during the summer, you know. But since Cole's injury, obviously the adjustments have had to be made. And, you know, a lot of people don't love them. So it's just kind of one of those things. So I don't know. When it comes to MJF, it's like when people say, like, get him out of the company I love, you know, it's kind of like, you can also kind of maybe not build all the TV around him and, you know, do some little creative tweaks here and there, and you can produce some real music with him at the same time. So I do think, like I said earlier, some tweaks would be very welcome, I think, from a lot of fans. But, you know, I still think MJF is a great wrestler, so it's a tough one. Charlie?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What do you think of the storyline progression, I guess, and also, of course, the announcement of the World's End main event?
Well, the World's End main event, I'm all for. I hope Samoa Joe wins. I have been so up and down on this MJF title reign, and I'm quite low on it again after the Full Gear match because it was fine fundamentally, but just the way it was just dumb. It was just a really dumb main event. And it really soured me on this whole story again. Yeah. And then the segment today went 20 minutes. He barely spoke about the match at Full Gear. Like, they were just doing their stupid friendship stuff that's hit a peak and it's fallen off a cliff for me. I can't do it anymore. I've had enough. So I just need Cole to be the devil and to just turn on MJF and just do it now. Do it quickly. Just get it over with us. Please. I'm so sick of these vignettes as well. Like, the devil laughing was so fucking dumb. Just, what are we doing?
Sure. One thing. Sorry, so I got one thing on which people were saying that, well, look, MJF is getting all this stuff over, the kangaroo kick and all this other shit that he does. I'm like, of course he's over. Everything he does is going to get over. And you think Ryan Nemeth can go out there and get the kangaroo kick over? He can't because he's Ryan Nemeth. MJF can because he's a fucking MJF. When you're over, you don't have to try as hard to do shit like that. You just get everything over, and then when you watch the matches, you can tell people are just waiting for him to do his little shtick. You know, that's what they want. They're just waiting for him to do his little shtick. Like, everybody was quiet when he was cutting his promo, and then he put his mic up and everybody chanted the devil. I mean, everybody's just waiting for his little cues and stuff like that, and it's just so annoying. Like,
that's the thing. That's the thing. I tweeted about it yesterday. The crowd cared more about just waiting for all the fucking his little sayings to hear, so they can chant along with him. And it's just like, if they're not actually listening to what you're saying and they just care about your little taglines, are you doing well with this story? It's questionable. It's questionable, in my opinion. I have very strong feelings.
Will Chisholm, $10. Appreciate you as always, brother. How the hell did WWE have a better tag division than AEW? I'm sick. I'm sorry. I'm so tired of the MJF long promos and his storyline. Samoa Joe saved this for me.
Very real.
To be fair, like there was a point where like AEW's tag division started to like go on a downward slope in terms of like focus. I'd say is probably the fairest way to put it in terms of focus. And like WWE's tag division was emerging, and it was like there was a few of us, where we'd be like WWE's tag division is probably better right now,
Yeah.
And like I think now. I don't even think you can say like how has WWE got a better tag division than AEW? WWE's tag division is like just a strong tag division on its own merit now, Then AEW's, I feel like there'll be a resurgence in 2024, Charlie. Heel Young Bucks.
My fingers crossed.
Golden Jets.
Bucks. God, yeah. Jericho saving the division. God bless him. No, Heel Bucks. Hopefully, Top Flight will be able to come back and they can be the little sprightly babyface tag team that's kind of missing. They don't really have a babyface tag team to get behind right now, which I think is honestly one of the problems with the division. Because as much as everyone's behind FTR, well, most of the crowd's behind FTR in that, it's like they're not the high flyers. They can't do like the big match spots that like AEW tags division's known for, because it was built around teams like the Lucha Bros and the Bucks and that. So I think that is one of my main problems with how it's currently built, because of the way we were so used to it being in like the first couple of years. They really strayed away from, and it's just not to my taste currently, and to a lot of the audience taste, because that's what we were shown that we would be given in this company. I don't know. I will say though, the FTR Bullet Club Gold stuff, some of the best tag stuff this year. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. Tag division's weird. Like, the talent's absolutely. They've definitely got the talent pool. They've definitely got more than enough in the talent pool. It's just making the right choices of how much focus to put on, when to put the focus on, etc., etc. What feuds you want to build up and stuff like that. But like I said, WWE tag division is very, very strong on its own merit these days. To the point where it's not so much of a how is WWE got a better tag division than AEW. It's more of a thing of like the AEW division just should be better, like Lucha Bros, man. You mentioned the Lucha Bros. It's like hopefully they have a bit more focus going into 2024. Because they can very quickly emerge as like one of some people's favorite tag team. I know a lot of people enjoy the single stuff, but it's like when you get single stuff out of Penta and Ray, I don't feel like Tony Khan's ever gonna like commit to doing it. Like,
no.
Do you know what I mean? To like make him break through like this glass ceiling that they seem to have, So I just think if you have them as you can have, whereas as a tag team, I think he has more confidence to just make them like, they were the team to beat the Bucks at the end of that great range. You know what I mean? Like, that's how highly he thinks of them as a tag team. So,
bro, I said about the division not having a top babyface tag team. The Acclaimed are right there, and that I think that goes to say for their booking and how they've been treated in AEW.
They suck
the fact that they weren't even someone that came to mind. So
they suck too now.
They don't suck. It's just they just don't.
I called it a long time ago. I knew.
They don't suck, man. Bones is very good. Caster is more than what's the word I'm looking? Sufficient. No, Caster is more than sufficient. Bones is actively like very enjoyable to watch, I think.
Oh, Bones should be a singles guy, I think.
Is that what you wanted to get to? No, a lot of people have said that. It just felt like it was an agenda man he was waiting to get out.
What, that the Acclaim suck?
All of it. The Acclaim suck. Bowen should be a singles. All of it.
I've been saying it for a while, man. I mean, when I saw everybody on the timeline agreeing, I said, fuck, man. Finally, everybody's catching up to what I've been saying. I said AEW was cooked after Wembley, and now everybody's agreeing with the Acclaim suck, so.
I don't think that's quite true. Everyone's agreeing that the Acclaim suck. Well, they're out hurt at the moment. the devil and the ninjas took him out. So GN £2, appreciate it. 1% chance, 99% faith. CM Punk Chicago Survivor Series. Yeah, it genuinely is one of those situations as far as what we've been able to find out here at WrestlePurists HQ. You know, it's just it's because the only reason why there's even that 1% is because it's professional wrestling. As Sean Rossap's been quite substantially more generous with it, saying 25%. And his reasoning is because it's wrestling, anything can happen, you know. But yeah, it very much is a 99% faith, 1% chance sort of thing at the moment. I think we're looking at the Rumble, people. We may or may not do a sort of an article later on. I might write, not later on, but later, at some point this week before Survivor Series of like what we know, you know, kind of style post, and we'll kind of summarize what we know for you guys as best as we can. Karan, 100 rupees, appreciate it. I'm not proud that I heard the devil laugh and thought that's Jack Perry, wrestling has broken me. A lot of people thought that is a theory that I've seen.
Where are they getting that from? I don't think it sounded like Jack Perry at all.
It's an edited voice. It's like do you know what I mean? It's like something out of a film, you know, like it's not someone's voice.
I genuinely watched, this is so random, but I watched all of the Uno videos from the pandemic that Creed, Claudio, Adam Cole, and Tyler Breeze did. I watched all of those videos, and I was just like, that sounds like Adam Cole to me, and the sort of laugh he would do in those videos. So that was my first thought. And then I saw Jack Perry all over the timeline. I was just like, all right, I'll keep it quiet then.
It's got to the point where that many people think it's Jack Perry that I'm seeing people like accept that it's Jack Perry in the sense of like someone tweeted earlier. It's like, it's hilarious that AEW fans can tell who MJF is just from his ass. Yeah, and they can tell who Jack Perry is just from his voice. And it's like, bro, I don't think it's Jack Perry. So
I don't like Jack Perry at all.
I've never bought into it being Jack Perry, man.
You know how sad it is if that's Jack Perry? Because you know whoever the devil is eventually going to be the AEW champion, and just Jack Perry, AEW champ. It's even worse.
It's just my bit. I still haven't been proven wrong, so
that damn devil. Yeah. Master 94 199, appreciate it. Mark versus Joe Cage match as owed to Jay versus Joe writes itself. I like all these people, you know. I watch them do a lot of things. Richard Jr., $5, appreciate it. There are 4 masked assailants in AEW, but they should be a security footage that the masked assailants might be attacking someone in the parking lot. Maybe.
Is this like an NXT bit?
I don't know. Listen, brother, I don't know who these masked assailants are. I'll call them the ninjas. I think if you go back, especially to the Acclaimed attack, and you slow down the footage and you have a really good look at who those 4... Is it 4 of them? Yeah, there's 4 of them. Yeah. There's 4 of them. If you have a real good look at it, you know, and you might be able to make out who one or 2 of them are, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty easy to tell who all of them are.
Not all. I don't think it's easy to tell who all of them are. But I think if you look at the Acclaimed attack, I think one of the people stands out. You have to kind of like pause it because it kind of pans off. But I think one of them is like blatantly obvious. The person that throws Bowens through the glass, I think it is. Then I've seen people that have said like Roddy's got his neck brace on underneath the. Underneath. I've seen that pop up multiple times now, so I think that's a very good.
I think I've seen one too where there was something like around somebody's like.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's pretty obvious if you know who it is, because if you think Roddy's one of them, then obviously the other 2 are, you know, the Kingdom, and then the big Jack dude is obviously the other guy that's feuding with MJF right now. So
it just all Will Chisholm, $20. Tony using MJF like he's Roman Reigns gives him 10 minutes per day act like their friendship is Kevin Owens and Sammy. P.S. The fans was doing the what chants. Was I watching a WWE show? Shake my head, Chicago. The what chance didn't come until Christian, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have got to that anyway. But yeah, that was something we're not used to seeing AEW. I tweeted it on the WrestlePurists account. Like, there's something extra jarring about what chance from an AEW show. You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's weird.
They did the what chance during Tony Storm thing, right?
I think there was some. Yeah, there was some light ones. There was, yeah. But yeah, they didn't start until the Christian promo. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, Tony's using MJF like he's Roman Reigns. Not really. He's using him more. Give him 10 minutes, pal.
At least Roman leaves for a few months. You know, MJF doesn't go away; he just stays here.
Now, I will never, ever, ever, ever criticize a wrestler for showing up to work every week. I will not do that. Manny the Hooper, you know.
I will.
Even if it's someone I don't like, if they show up every week, you know.
If they show up every week and they tank it for me, I'm gonna say something at least.
That's fine. No, that's fine. It's just specifically him showing up every week isn't a bad thing, you know. What he does, that's a whole other thing, you know. They act like the friendship is Kevin Owens and Sammy. I'm assuming you're talking about Cole and MJF. Not necessarily. I think it is quite unique what they're doing in terms. That doesn't mean I think it's great or Scorsese or anything, you know. But like, I don't think it's like Kevin and Sammy.
You can tell this is what MJF wanted him and Punk's relationship to be, but it never was. So he's just doing it with Adam Cole.
Speaking of Punk, there wasn't even really any Punk chants on the show last night that I heard, anyways.
Oh, because they all know where he's going.
They're saving him for a
MJF made a Punk reference as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously he was in Chicago when he was going back and forth with Samoa Joe. He was like, "You wouldn't be the first Ring of Honor legend that I've beat in Chicago twice." So
You're saving the Punk chance for Saturday.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Even
though I don't think he's going to be there. But yeah, man. Appreciate you. We'll keep them coming, people. Super chats. Any questions, any hot takes, especially hot takes. It means we can bury them.
We do love a debate.
We
got onto tag team wrestling from a super chat that wasn't about tag team wrestling. So,
all right. Hook, Shibata, Orange Cassidy versus the old Jericho Appreciation Society, 2.0 and Jake Hager. Didn't really think too much of this, to be honest. It kind of came and went. I will say, though, the Shibata and Hager interactions did pop me. Danhausen was introduced before the match to stand ringside. Orange Cassidy said he has a Thanksgiving surprise, and he introduced Danhausen. He cursed Hager. Pulled out his old hat. The crowd popped for him. It's Danhausen. You either love him or you hate him. I think it goes, we don't need to have a discussion about how we feel about Danhausen, he came back. He got a pop. He cursed someone, and the babyface, he's got the win. I believe Hook tapped out Angelo Parker. So, like I said, that kind of came and went. Do you guys have anything you want to add at all?
It's very cool to see Hook teaming with people like Shibata. You would only get stuff like that in AEW, and that popped me a lot. Them swapping midway through the submissions because they realized they had the wrong people. Cool shit. I liked it. The rest of the match was just kind of there.
Yeah, Manny, did you pop for Danhausen?
No, fuck that. A merch bootlegger, man. I mean, fuck, man. Just. He's 0 for 2 on fucking debuts and surprises. Like, I still remember that shitty surprise for that match.
Beach Break.
Yeah, Beach Break. And then when he came out, I said, "Fuck this guy, bro. This is who's out here? Who's asking for Danhausen?"
I don't know. I'm sure there's some people even in our live chat that are probably like big fans of Danhausen, find him very entertaining and light-hearted and all this good stuff. He's not for me. He's
very nice, very evil. I just want to.
That was was incredible.
Man with the unprompted Danhausen impression. That was interesting. Anyway,
very funny for him to come back in Chicago for reasons that I won't discuss.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we had Adam Cole. I think he's being interviewed by like Renee or someone, and then Roddy and the Kingdom come into shot. Like, Adam, where was you last week? Action Andretti tried to kill me. He dumped me on my head, and he wasn't there. And Adam Cole just cuts it off. He's just like, Roddy, shut the fuck up. Obviously not using that exact. I ain't got the script in front of me, but he's like, Roddy, shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. We're no longer best friends anymore. Get it into your thick head. And just goes off on him, basically. And he walks off the shot. Roddy looks very sad. Heartbreaking stuff for Roddy Strong, man. You tweeted that Roddy Strong is very good at acting. So I just want to know what you meant by that.
Yeah, he got me because he started doing he was going to do the fake crying. I thought he was a good actor. Good actors only know how to fake cry.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how to fake cry. Do you?
Get me some onions.
Well, Roddy Strong didn't need onions. He just did it by the tone of
How do you know he didn't like rub his fingertips on onions or some shit?
That's a good point. I don't know.
Maybe he's just really hurt by Adam Cole.
That is also what. How do you know it was fake, man?
Wrestling's real. It's real to Roddy.
Yeah, you talk about wrestling like it's a shoot all the other times, but when it comes to this performance, you just it's kayfabe, brother.
I don't know. I don't think Roddy, the rest of that dog, would cry over spilled friendship over Adam.
It's his best friend, man.
He came to AEW for him. He made the save. All those eons ago. That feels so long ago.
It does.
And now he's a meme wrestler.
Now he's a meme wrestler in the professional wrestling company.
Yeah.
How did
in recent weeks, they have absolutely ramped up this. Like Adam Cole is sick of Roddy shit. So we'll see what that leads to. All right. Next up, we had the rechristening of Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus. Christian Cage is just fucking hilarious, This was a hilarious segment. I can't say it was good, but because it was just because of the level of entertaining it was, I won't call it bad either, But the rechristening of Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus, Christian comes out and he demands Luchasaurus to take a knee. Luchasaurus at first, he's kind of like, what the fuck? And then he starts screaming at him, telling him to take a knee. And he has rechristened him and renamed him as Kill Switch. So Luchasaurus will now be going by the name Kill Switch.
Such an awesome name.
And then he turns to Nick Wayne. Well, first of all, the reason why he's rechristening Luchasaurus and renaming him is because he said that Luchasaurus is a loser. He's the reason that they lost, etc., etc. And he kind of just kicked the shit out of him. It's very sad to see Luchasaurus treated like that. But anyway, he's been renamed as Kill Switch. And then he turns to Nick Wayne and he's full of praise for Nick Wayne. And he's like, you're my son, you're this, you're that. And he's renamed and rechristened Nick Wayne as just simply the Prodigy Nick Wayne. So we didn't get Nick Cage. We didn't get Nick Cage. No, a lot of us wanted him to be named Nick Cage, But it is what it is. And as all this is going down, Nick Wayne's mom, she comes out. She's back involved in this storyline. And Christian Cage gets in her face like he's going to do something. But Luchasaurus, of course, has had a change of heart and he stands in the way. Christian Cage shoves Luchasaurus and it knocks Nick Wayne's mom over. Christian Cage then tells Nick Wayne to get a chair and he sets up a concerto to Nick Wayne's mom. But Edge comes out and he makes a save. And who gets left in the ring? It's Nick Wayne's mom in the corner, cowering because she's just been nearly killed by Christian Cage and her own son. And then Nick Wayne's in the middle of the ring after he's ate a spear from Edge after the save was made. And Edge, in front of Nick Wayne's mom, gives Nick Wayne a concerto. And, Nick Wayne's mom looks terrified. Christian Cage is absolutely devastated that his newfound son has been concertoed. Edge has got this devilish look on his face. You don't even notice or realise that Nick Wayne's mum's in the ring. Like, there's no like remorse or anything like that. He's just in the zone, staring down Christian Cage. And this was a lot of drama, Charlie.
Mm-hmm. It was I'm sorry. I loved this. It was so ridiculous. I was just laughing the entire time. And like, shout out to Nick Wayne, because he has really embraced this character and just gone full he's just dived straight into it. And like the fact that he like dropped to a knee before Christian even said anything to him, and he was just laughing in the back. Oh, it was very funny. I enjoyed this segment a lot because it was ridiculous. And sometimes you just gotta laugh at your wrestling, or otherwise you'll end up bitching on a podcast for 20 minutes about it. So
fair.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there this episode.
Manny, did you catch any of his comedy sketch?
I did. That was pretty funny.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Nick Wayne's mom lost her husband. Now she lost her son twice. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Did you see any good acting that's worth pointing out in this, man?
Christian Cage, he's a good actor. Edge is all right. He's good at landing the spear. You would think Nick Wayne would know how to counter the spear by now, but I guess not.
No, he gets hit with one weekly, brother. You know.
Can't wait for him to put on like the steel plate or whatever.
Cameron, 100 rupees, appreciate it. I'm aware that it was done, but a pot for the Christian segment. Nick taking a knee eagerly was very funny. Feels like Edge is slowly turning heel. Yeah, that was quite funny, to be fair. Like, the way that Luchasaurus was like, what the fuck? What do you mean? You want me to take a knee, for Nick Wayne? But you didn't even have to tell him. You didn't have to tell him. You just dropped down.
It was like, Nick, stand up.
Breaking news. Ibu of WrestlePurists, better known as Backup Hangman to a lot of this audience, wants the link.
Monty, check your Twitter real quick. I sent you something.
Oh no.
Fuck.
It's never good.
It's a photo. Oh. God bless. Big fan of Timmy. Ibu, have I sent that to the right? Yeah, Ibu, I've sent that link to your Twitter DM, by the way. All right, so Ibu's going to come in and I guess review this last bit of Dynamite with us, Speaking of which, next up we had basically an Anna Jay promo. She wants to get a win tonight, and in this we see that Cool Hand Ange, who's of course part of 2.0, who they're meant to be supporting and behind Anna Jay, but Cool Hand Ange has Ruby Soho as his screensaver, and they're planting some more seeds here, Charlie. I know you're into your lore and your love stories in wrestling, so keep that in mind, people, because of course Anna Jay is wrestling Sky Blue and Ruby Soho later on in the night. So there was that, and then Continental Classic Gold League match number 2, Roosh versus Jay White. We kind of touched on this earlier with Roosh just being an animal, and if you don't fucking rise to his level of physicality, he's just going to chew you up in there. And this was a good example of it, of Jay White kind of meeting him, really good match. Really like this. Roosh, Jay White, both delivered. Manny, I'm assuming you like this one?
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars.
God bless.
First time I rated something in a while. 4 stars, I thought it was the best match so far of the tournament.
Out of 2.
Out of 3, actually.
Oh, I thought you meant like until that point.
And so it was called I don't know. I feel like because Roosh doesn't sell for anybody unless you make him sell for you. So I was kind of glad how Jay White was finally able to meet the physicality, and Roosh just started selling for him a bit. And it kind of popped me because I thought it'd be kind of funny if Roosh didn't take a pin and just went to draws the whole time. Because it'd be kind of beast. But I'm also not a fan of them saying how much of a prestigious tournament this is, just for the second match of the tournament, just to have a low blow. So
yeah, a lot of people did bring that up, and I think it is fair to bring up, to be honest. So yeah, Jay White got 3 points here, but he did. He hit a big low blow behind the referee's back. So not quite clean by any means. Go on, Manny, quickly.
I was gonna say this is the first time they've ever touched or wrestled, but they had flawless chemistry. They flowed real good, and they knew when everybody was gonna do. Yeah, I don't think they've wrestled against each other.
They were in New Japan at the same time, but Jay White was a young boy, I think. So.
Oh yeah, young boy Jay White don't count anyway. No. Anyway, Ibu, happy Thanksgiving, brother. How you doing? And what did you think of Rouge versus Jay White?
Thank you very much. How's everybody doing? Happy Thanksgiving to the WrestlePurists audience that's listening. I'm sure most of you guys are just enjoying the day with your families, but if you chose to take time out of your day to spend it and give it to the WrestlePurists podcast, we obviously appreciate that. And shout out to you guys being troopers and remaining workhorses here with this early podcast. I read the tweet earlier, and it said 5 p.m. or whatever, and I was like, I think that's what I thought I read. So when I say you guys early, I was like, what the fuck are they doing here? I thought this was going to be at 5
p.m. UK, brother.
You meant 5 p.m. UK time. Yeah. Nevertheless, thank you for having me. What did I think of Rouge versus Jay White? I'm sure it was a great old time. I have not seen it. I haven't seen it.
Okay. More bad.
That's fine.
You watched any of Dynamite?
No, I haven't gotten to. I saw a clip of Christian shitting on Nick Wayne's mother. And he called her a Denny's employee, which was really funny. I don't know why that was funny. It was just funny. Because have you ever been to a Denny's? Most of the servers are these like 38-year-old wholesome white women.
That's true.
So, like literally, you want more syrup, honey? You're like, sure. All right. They give you pancakes. I saw that. What else did I see? I saw Danhausen come out.
You had
the mascot,
even got home from work. It was the first thing you had to see.
Gotta pop that in. Yeah.
Get his Danhausen popping.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch the show in full, obviously, because I'm a completionist. But the crowd was kind of like muted and subdued last night.
Wasn't a great crowd, no.
Do you guys have any theories as to why that is? Yeah.
Territory's not hot at the moment, bro. It's
I don't think it's that.
I think it's Survivor Series on Saturday, but
I
don't think the AEW crowds in general have been like particularly amazing recently.
Yeah. I don't think it's a case of hot or cold. AEW before would have 3,000 people in the building and they'd be going fucking nuts. We've seen it, I think it's just that they don't put on that type of show for those types of people. What's up?
Sorry, I was just looking at what Maddie DM'd me.
Oh.
He's been very responsible. Carry on, Ibu. Don't get.
No, I was just gonna say. I just think that like they just construct a show now to appeal more to like the types of people that like react this way, which are like the more traditional WWE ticket buyers. You know what I mean? Where like they like the catchphrases and the entrances and the gimmicks and like the haha. But like when the bell rings, it's like all right, let's just like they just like kind of watch until the big stuff happens. But I heard Mark Briscoe versus John Moxley was great. And I'm not surprised by that. I mean,
no one is.
That's Mark Briscoe and John Moxley. Mark is I wasn't subscribed to the thinking that you guys are saying, especially you, Monty, about like maybe we should actually just kind of run with this with Mark.
Not maybe.
Well, yeah, right. You've been saying
I'm not being skeptical about this. I'm not treading on eggshells here. Mark Briscoe should win the AEW Continental Classic.
Wow.
I'm Nintendo's down on it.
You want him to win the whole thing?
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you guys this. It's like when he first came in and it was post the passing of Jay, it was like, he's a nice like mascot to have. But then you keep watching him like, wait, he's one of the most over guys on all these shows. And he's like still really good. And it's like, why not? Why not just go with it? Like the more I really think about it, I'm like, what really is what's the reason not to? He's walking goodwill. Everybody loves him. He gets over every time. He has really good matches. I'm looking around and you might as well. I saw Swerve come out, Monty, and he got a huge pop, right? And that's cool in the sense that like he's a made man after that amazing Texas death match. But I'm kind of concerned of like who are the villains of this of AEW, right? Who are the big heat? What's up?
No, continue.
Yeah, I was saying like who are the big villains that get like heat, right? And I was thinking, is Swerve not getting heat because they don't have super baby faces? And I still don't have the answer to that. But what I do know is that maybe if you pair like a Mark Briscoe against some of these people, it guarantees that those bad guys do get booed. You feel me?
Is this not what I said earlier?
Yeah, it's very that was like a very like kind of looser version of the conversation we had earlier. It's like,
wow, is my camera working?
No, it's not. It's froze.
What the fuck, man?
So we had this conversation earlier, where it was just kind of like we was talking about like how we've seen some takes about like, oh, Swerve should be a babyface, and it's like, no, get heat on him. You know, it's like get real heat on him because he's better as a heel than a babyface. And just because he's got a few cheers because he did something awesome over the weekend doesn't mean that you just give in and flipping babyface. You know, you get heat on him, and whether that's doing something with a cool, like a great babyface like a Mark Briscoe or something else. Do you know what I mean? But you don't just you don't just give in and not flipping babyface. You know, like you find creative ways to get heat on him. Because if he's a good wrestler, he's naturally going to have moments where he does something awesome on a pay-per-view or something, and he comes out on the next Wednesday and some people cheer for him. That's very natural, you know. So, there's of course you can just pair him with a Mark Briscoe. You can pair him with other baby faces that they have. Obviously, Hangman was a good one. So you know, Even like I said, it's very, very much on what we was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Mark Briscoe was the example that we used as well. Like, so
right.
Yeah.
I think, and the more you kind of examine the Continental Classic lineup, you know, stupid people will tell you that like this is something that will have no stories and that it's this and that. And we've all,
back, by the way.
Yeah, he is. He's like hiding from his camera. I don't know what's happening with that. He's like he's ducking and dodging it. I was just gonna say, stupid people.
I was underneath my camera. I was underneath my desk trying to find the plug to fix it. Yeah.
Stupid people will tell you that like stories can't materialize in a tournament or whatnot, but I think many can. And there's many you could tell with. I mean, there's a couple you could tell with Mark Briscoe if you so choose. I think you can tell the natural one of Eddie Kingston wanting to get back to Jon Moxley, which would feel really satisfying if we got there, and that's the direction. I think you could tell a story with Daniel Garcia, you know, and how he approaches this tournament. He could lose the whole fucking thing and maybe get a big win at the end, or this could be his big redemption project. It's up to how they book it. And then there's guys who are just there to just be savages. You know what I mean? Like Roosh could just be there to be a savage.
And he wants Roosh to win. No, he wants Andrade to win.
Neither of those two will win, but I think on both sides of the bracket, they're there to just be fucking monsters, you know, which is fine.
Well, when you watch that Roosh match, you might say otherwise because he might be their best wrestler in that little bracket they have going on.
In the Moxley Mark Briscoe bracket.
Yep.
You think so?
I know so. After last night, after I saw all 6 guys wrestle,
you know what, Manny?
One guy stood out.
You know what, Manny? I'm not gonna even. I don't know if I agree with you, but I'm not gonna fight you because Roosh is awesome. You know, and right now the level of effort he gives on his weekly TV matches is still staggering to me because I remember when he came in AEW and I didn't expect this from him because he didn't give a shit in Ring of Honor. You know. Like I was somebody that watched Ring of Honor in those late days, and like he was totally phoning it in. And I just thought like he was maybe he was just mid, you know, but he just didn't give a shit. And you saw the immediate difference when he made the switch. So shout out to Roosh.
Dynamite. Tony Storm's acceptance speech. Well, you know, it was all in black and white, and they tried to do kind of like an Oscar-style presentation with RJ City and Renee presenting, introducing her. Mariah May came out and presented her with the world title. Tony Storm did a acceptance speech. It was something like shout out to all the little Tony Storms out there, and Anthony Khan, and
wait, man, did you see when she said to all the little Tony Storms out there, they panned to a girl
Yeah.
That was. She wasn't even paying attention. She wasn't even paying attention.
It was very funny.
It was one of the...
I hate this segment, by the way. I
really?
Yeah.
I thought you'd get into it.
No, man. I tweeted on an account that may or may not be my main that they had killed the character for me already. And it's like they just jumped the gun on it, which was what I was worried about. And now I'm just kind of over the Toni Storm stuff.
Yeah. I am too. I just kind of thought like maybe you get a kick out of like now Mariah's kind of figured into it and shit like that.
No, I love Mariah, but I just want to see her wrestle.
Yeah. But in the back, Mariah May was kind of in the background, and Toni Storm was like all the little Toni Storms out there, as Manny mentioned, and she was like, "You won't be able to grow up and be like me," or something like that. And Mariah May kind of looked really like disappointed that she could not grow up to be Toni Storm. So, you know, Toni Storm, she accepted her bout, I guess, and she done it in her way. And some people really like this, but I'm not one of them.
It jumped the shark once it became black and white. I can't get over it. Next thing you know, Next thing you know, they're gonna start wrestling in black and white, and then the promotion is gonna be black and white, and it's just gonna be down.
We already had that thing where I think it was last week or the week before, where I wanted to say it was Mariah May opening and closing the door to Toni Storm's room, and every time the door opened, the screen went black and white. Remember, and it would close and it would go back to normal. It was like you were entering the Toni Storm dimension, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. She can bend reality, I guess, you know.
Okay, and then we had Sky Blue versus Ruby Soho versus Anna Jay. Who got the win in it? Sky Blue got the win in the end. Ruby was distracted by the whole Angelo Parker, then Saraya being mad at her about his situation. Anna Jay, of course, was the one that got pinned. Oh man, I'm very... What's the word I'm looking for? Confused? I don't get what they're doing with this much Sky Blue on TV. It feels like she wrestles every week. I'm not particularly sure what the end goal of it will be, and even if there is ones you can think of, is that good? I do think I've said this like last week, like there's so many other women in the division that I think could do with like even half the focus that Sky Blue has been getting. And it's not so much a thing of like shitting on Sky Blue. It's just like I'm just confused at a woman that where she's at as a talent, given the amount of time she's been getting this year. I just can't seem to make any sense of it. You know, she's not what I'd call good in the ring yet. You know, I wouldn't even particularly call her like solid yet. She's improved from when we first seen her, when she was like pretty bright green, to be very honest. But she has made some slow progression. But I don't think it's a thing where it's like, this is one for the future. This is a future world champion. I don't think it's like an investment like that. But when you look at how much she's used, like, bro, feels like she wrestles every week without fail. And it's like, I don't get what I'm supposed to be getting out of these matches. I just don't understand this. Can someone help me?
All I know is, go ahead, Charlie. Go ahead.
They've put Sky Blue in a position where she's now leading other talents that like aren't like very good at wrestling. Like, there's no nice way to put it. And she's not ready to do that, and it's just making her look worse in the ring. Like, she's not ready to lead Anna Jay through a match, even with Ruby in there as well, because she's been hit or miss in AEW.
Yeah.
To be honest, in rings. So, like, I don't know, man. Sky Blue should not be in the position she's in right now, and that's not a knock on her, because I do think that she's improved quite a lot, and she's had some, like, pretty memorable performances this year. But stop throwing her into these matches. I think she has. I think she's done quite well this year, to be honest.
No, what are these memorable performances that she's had?
She put on a crown.
Don't do that.
Did you see that she took off her baseball cap and put on a crown? That was pretty cool.
Whoa.
She's left amazing.
Whoa.
Well, now you make me look like a dick because I can't think of one off the top of my head.
I know, it was quite spiteful from her, you know.
I was mid-brand.
Actually, finish your point, Charlie, because I have something I wanted to say about this.
I've lost it because money fucking threw me off. But anyways, I think it's not fair on Sky that they've thrown her into this place that she's not ready for. Because now it's just getting her slandered, like online, and it's not necessarily her fault when she has been putting the work in to improve. So I don't know. AEW, book your women better. I feel like I say that on a weekly basis, but here we are.
Ibu?
Yeah, I think part of why it stands out and can be a source for frustration. It's beyond even her. I think it's the fact that like other wrestlers maybe don't get that level of consistent exposure. Mm-hmm. So when the one that does get that commitment and treatment is Sky Blue, it's just a curious choice because
very curious.
Because I mean, let's just because I'm pretty sure like besides Orange Cassidy, she has the most TV matches in AEW this year, which is really hilarious. Orange Cassidy's gimmick was that he was wrestling like too much to the point where it was like withering away at him. Mm-hmm. So like, could you imagine, Monty, if like Takeshita wrestled on Dynamite every week with this level of consistency?
Bro,
you know what I mean?
It's even like what Charlie said. Like Ruby Soho, she has been hit and miss in the performances this year. But I think from anyone who's watched her for long enough, everyone knows that Ruby Soho can get it done in the ring. She's a solid worker. She can lead matches, etc., etc., etc. But she don't have a consistent enough of matches. So it doesn't surprise me that she is hit and miss this year because she hardly wrestles. You know. But you want to know who they've got time for? Sky Blue match every week, you know? And it's just, like you said, it's a very curious choice.
Yeah, like, again, like, Takeshita doesn't wrestle, like, consistently, and there's other people, too.
Well, to be fair, they have a lot of men. They don't have a lot of women.
All right.
They do. They're just stuck on Ring of Honor.
I was going to say, like, that's the thing. The choices for who gets the women's match on TV is so, like, it's so, the scope is so short that you almost think the division's like 6-7 people, like it's 2016 SmackDown. Like you would think. I remember I looked at one of the graphics. I was like, do they just only have like 5 ladies now or something? And I like had to scroll back to the roster. I'm like, oh no, that's just the rotation. And I don't even like that excuse me, Manny, of that there's more men, because I think you should prioritize who you think are the best talents that you can make money with, you know. And yeah, I don't really. You know, I'm not going to go on another rant about like, do more with Takeshita, but that is why the Sky Blue featuring, like the rate of which she gets the time is just dubious. You know, it's just like the fact that like you would think you would hope that commitment was also given to other people, that it isn't. So it's like, why is she the one that gets TV every single week? You know, so
yeah, curious choice again.
Curious choice.
Like I say, it's not even like she's one of like there's certain young talents that, like, even if you don't think they're great yet, you can tell that, like, there's something there and there's a lot of fanfare behind them. I think, who's one I can think? Like a Billy Starks or someone. You know, some people have, like, circled her, like, she's one for the future, you know? She's game, she's so young, she's already at a decent level, etc. People are really enjoying the stuff that she's doing with the fee, you know? Like, if it was a talent like that, then I couldn't... But no one's ever saying any shit about Sky Blue, bro. Like, she's going to be, like, you know, she's a future fucking Observer Hall of Famer. She's going to be a future world champion. She's this, she's that. No one's saying any shit about fucking Sky Blue, bro, from what I see. So, again, very curious choice. I just don't get it. Push 199, appreciate it. I want Perry to be the devil just to see the meltdown. That's very spiteful, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
How would you guys react if Jack was the devil?
You're very funny.
I'd call on a podcast. I would explain the reasons why I think it shouldn't be Jack Perry, like we did like last week. I'd go over those reasons again and talk about how confused I am, and talk about how Jack Perry shouldn't be in the spot that big. And I'll just review it like an adult, you know?
I'd probably protest.
This could just be Wade Keller being messy, but he put out a report about Jay White. He said White wasn't thrilled based on what I've been told with how things went with the build and the match against MJF.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, man, it looked like you fucking buried him out there. Fucking. You wanted to do that. It didn't seem like it was unintentional.
I don't know. It would be a first, Hear about Jay White's unhappy with X, Y, and Z. He seems pretty chill.
So. I don't know. It felt what MJ did was very smart.
But it was. Will Chisholm $10 says, "Remember when Paige came to AEW to save the women's division? No. And now she's in a comedy store. That's a grateful pitch for Mercedes to come in. P.S. I think Jay White is winning. Jay White is winning the Continental Classic. I wouldn't be mad at it. We spoke about it yesterday on the reaction show. It's like after him getting the shit kicked out of him the way he did on fucking at Full Gear, this wouldn't be the worst way to kind of give him something back, and kind of try and keep him at like a world title.
I have a Saraya hot take.
Go on.
She's genuinely she's been fine since Wembley. Like, I know people jumped on her early on because like the direction of her character when she came in AEW was very cringe. It was very like, I'm here to save this thing and create a women's revolution. It was very cringe and just like the wrong play to make. And she immediately turned herself heel by just being that way. And a lot of the early Outcast stuff was just really bad. But I genuinely think when she won the belt, like she had a good match at Arthur Ashe. And she lost it shortly after. But everything I've seen of Saraya in the last couple months, like it's at worst inoffensive. And it's inoffensive. Plus, I'll tell you what, I'd actually be more open to watching her wrestle more because I just think in a weird way, she's kind of getting in the rhythm more now than she was when she was pushed harder earlier. And I'd actually be more open to watching her in the ring and doing stuff than Sky Blue. Maybe that's a missed call on my part. Maybe I'm saying this and then it happens and I'm like, actually, I take that back. But that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. I actually think Saraya's pretty fine.
Yeah, she's been pretty fine in that time period that you outlined. So, like you said, inoffensive. Anyway, after the freeway match, unless anyone's got anything else to want to add about it.
No.
I didn't think it was particularly good. But anyway, Wardlow is interviewed. He's interrupted by AR Fox, who I think he's just checking in on him, sort of thing, And Wardlow just hits him with a mean headbutt, And Wardlow's playing no games. Is kind of the message we're giving us here. Anyway, Continental Classic, AEW Dynamite main event. Gold League match number 3, Mark Briscoe versus John Moxley. I got very worried when I saw the time these two fellas were walking out, but we did get an AEW Dynamite overrun last night. I think they went like 7-8 minutes past the hour, so we did get a full match between Briscoe and Mox. Could it have been a little bit longer? Like I said at the start of the show, I probably would have took some time off the first match and added it to this. But still, a very, very good match. I love this. I love seeing Mark Briscoe wrestle because, of course, I do. John Moxley is fucking John Moxley. Briscoe got some colour. This was good shit, bro. This was good shit. This is the sort of shit that I want to see in the Continental Classic, Manny, I think you've only got like 5 minutes left with us until you have to get out of here. So I'll throw the ball to you first. Briscoe versus Mox, what did you think?
This would kind of annoy me because they're talking about this prestigious tournament, and then it felt kind of rushed.
Yeah, it did.
It didn't really feel like it just felt like any other match, and I don't know. The other two matches felt kind of different, so I kind of hope that they figure how to time these better because I don't know. It just felt rushed, and it got to the point, and it was just like there was no. I guess this was kind of like a sprint that we were talking about, but it was still awesome. I think this is the first time these two guys touched too, and they created magic, and I kind of wish we saw more of it from them.
Same. Yeah, it was like a sprint, but not quite because it wasn't quite. You know what I mean? So it was like in the middle. Absolutely, like I said earlier, if we could have took like 6 minutes off that first match and added it to this, I think we all would have been better served for it.
Because I wish I saw more Moxley being a dick and like he owned this match, but they couldn't do any of that stuff because they said they were challenged for time. So I wish we saw a more in-depth match between these two guys.
Yeah, me
too. Yeah, man. Hopefully, when Briscoe wins the Continental Classic, he'll need to get his win back. So, I'm down for it. Charlie, Ibu's obviously not seen it. So yeah, Charlie, what did you think of the main event last night?
I wish it was longer, but for what it was, I loved it. It was just very AEW, and I like when AEW's like the company it should be. It was just really cool. The fact that Mark Briscoe got colour during picture-in-picture is just so fucking real. I have no idea if he meant to or not, but it really added something to the match. And he was getting cheered over Jon Moxley, who is the ace. I won't he's the ace of AEW. I'm not going to stop making that point of why. This is why Mark Briscoe needs to win. He's already proved why he would be the perfect winner for this tournament, I think. But yeah, I love the match. Very real stuff. I hope they get to have a longer one down the line.
It was very real. Ibu, who has not seen the match yet, but when you saw, did it make you feel warm and fuzzy inside?
You said when I saw what? Did it make me feel warm and fuzzy?
And when you saw the Mark Briscoe, Jon Moxley graphic.
Brother, that's real wrestling right there. I prefer for the BCC to be defined in one lane or the other. I think this tweener thing is unproductive. But nevertheless, just Jon Moxley and Mark Briscoe are two real wrestlers. They're two grown men. And you know that when they wrestle, when they get in that ring, you're going to see grown man grabs. They're going to beat the shit out of each other. One of them is probably going to bleed. And it's going to be manly. And that's just that. With no bullshit, no frills. And so that's what I expect when I pop this on later on today and attempt to watch Dynamite in the middle of Thanksgiving. So yeah, man, shout out to Mark Briscoe. God bless the man. Does it surprise me that this is the best thing on the show? Of course not. These two guys are transcendent performers and two of the greatest of their era. So shout out to both of them.
Absolutely. Love them both. Love them both very dearly. But yeah, Continental Classic is underway. There was a lot of what AEW fans call sports entertainment, but I'll always say all wrestling is basically some form of sports entertainment anyway. Monty stealing Simon Miller's gimmick. What's Simon Miller's gimmick? I thought it was the why. That's why,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was his gimmick.
I thought his gimmick was
ups and downs.
Ups and downs.
Man, I don't know. Maybe you can explain Triple H's sledgehammer in the live chat. Anyway, shout out Simon Miller, good dude. Dynamite was interesting in the sense of Ibu was joking around yesterday. He's like, I want it to be like the Continental Classics real graps, and then it transitioned into these wacky, like sports entertainment-esque segments, and that's basically what Dynamite was last night. It was, there's a lot of those type of segments now, which are proving quite divisive with the AEW fan base on Twitter at least. And considering it was the opening day for the Continental Classic, it didn't feel like a show that had like an air of prestige around it because it had so many segments and stuff scattered throughout. So it was hard to get into kind of like that mode or that feel for the show. I think it is a genuine problem that AEW. I think me, Joey, but at least we had a podcast fucking 6 weeks ago, maybe even longer than that, and we was talking about the identity crisis of AEW. It's they need to pick a lane and pick what their identity is going to be, because this hybrid shit at the moment, I just don't think it's particularly I don't think it's particularly offending anyone too much. Well, there is some people who are proper purists, excuse the pun, but they definitely want AEW to be a certain way. Do you know what I mean? But for the most part, for most of their fan base, especially judging off the ratings and stuff, I don't think their audience is super turned off by this. But I don't think anyone's particularly thrilled with the product at the moment either. So you've kind of got this meh middle ground where I think they just need to pick are they going to be the true alternative, or are they going to try to be this hybrid thing that they've been doing lately? I just don't know what they should be doing.
I said this on a podcast recently that based on the conversations I had with people in the promotion, what you guys can expect, and I said this, what you guys can expect is the compromise era. And that's what AEW is going to be. It's going to be the compromise era. They're not going to completely ignore the hardcore fans. They're going to do what they can to give them something, and that something here is the Continental Classic. But that will not be the whole show. They're going to continue with the direction that they're going. They're not going to stop Timeless Tony. They're not going to stop Adam. They're not going to stop the Devil. They're not going to stop Chips or the Giraffe or these types of things. The bottom line is they've created an infrastructure to facilitate these things to continue, but that infrastructure being a writing team, and a team that has people like Jimmy Jacobs and many other names that are writing these shows. Tony Khan is not going to now tell these people your services are no longer needed, and so to justify their positions, you need to continue those types of things on these shows. And I'm not saying that whether I like or dislike. I'm just telling you that's what it's going to be. So what you can expect in the foreseeable future is a compromise. AEW will never be what it necessarily was in the first 2 years, but it's also not going to be full on in that weird raw light way. It's not going to be the raw light that we were getting leading to Full Gear. You're going to get this middle ground.
I can't believe this company would just stand and be like, yeah, we're going to be mediocre. We're not going to be good. We're not going to be bad. We're just going to be here, and we're going to do all the bad stuff that WWE does. We're just not going to do as good as them. And then everybody talks about how good our wrestling is, but we're just going to do what WWE does. We're just going to do it worse than them.
I mean, all I know is I talked to people.
I don't think that's how they feel about it internally. But,
the way they see it, I've talked to people extremely high up about this, and I was just like, so are you guys gonna like stop that? And they're like, no. Like they're aware that some fans find it off-putting when it's excessive. They're aware of this, and their response to that is, well, we'll give them stuff that they like, and in their mind, it's like, well, some people like this, so we're gonna just do both. And so,
Manny, you gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I gotta go. But one last thing I was gonna say is like, that stuff is so boring because if you listen to Toni Storm, hardly anybody reacted to her, and when they did react, they just chanted what to her. And then MJF, it was quiet during the segment, besides when they first came out and did their boom. It was quiet, and then the only way until MJF started doing his little things, and I don't know, it just seemed like the crowd was more into it when Swerve was wrestling and when Roosh was wrestling, and then when Jon Moxley and freaking Mark Briscoe were wrestling, because they were into that. They were into the Roosh match, and then they were into Jay Lethal's match. So
yeah, it's an interesting balance that we've got to try and find, because if they are going to try and find some sort of compromise, I think you have got to balance it more to the work rate side, But Manny the Hooper, happy Thanksgiving. Go. Enjoy your party, or getting ready for the party, or whatever it is that you're going to do.
Yeah,
right now.
I gotta cook real quick. I gotta make some Brussels sprouts with bacon.
God bless.
Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Right, don't forget to post your plate, Manny. I want to pop at it later.
All right, I will. All right, have fun, guys.
Sweet. We're still under 2 hours, so I'm going to actually.
Monty,
I'm going to bring Rob up. I'm going to bring Rob up.
Rob. Oh boy, they're going to do a Survivor Series post-show press conference, and people are immediately like, "Oh my God, Triple H is going to have to do a lot of explaining."
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
You
don't think so, Charlie?
You know why? We don't have to. We don't put on a bad product, so we won't have to.
It's not.
It'll probably be a good show, but like the CM Punk thing, it's like, as it like a journalist, media member, podcaster, whatever you want to call it, whoever ends up in that media scrum, it's like someone may ask about Punk, even though they didn't last time.
They fucking should.
So even if they ask about Punk, Triple H could very easily turn around and be like, what would you think was CM Punk's coming back? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
teases. What teases?
I was just gonna say, Monty. All right, you're Paul Levesque. I'll say exactly how it's fucking done at these scrums, right? Or how I would do it.
Yeah, you be Paul Levesque. Let me ask my media question.
No, I would because I'm gonna press. I would press this nigga. We'll do.
No, you can be Paul Levesque, And I'm going to be me. I'm going to be Montella.
Fine, go ahead. You're on the podium.
All right. Thanks for the mic. Montella of WrestlePurists. Triple H, question for you regarding CM Punk. A lot of fans were expecting CM Punk to show up at Survivor Series tonight, and he didn't show. There was a lot of fans were thinking some of the stuff he was doing across TV in recent weeks and months were seen as hints. Can you elaborate a bit more on that and whether WWE do have interest in Mr. CM Punk?
Yeah, I mean, look, people speculate a lot of things, you know. What we do with this product and this talent involved, I am so impressed with. I mean, wow. We just sold 17,000 tickets in Chicago. This is a bigger live gate than we got here at WrestleMania. It blows me away, you know, and the passion of this fan base. I mean, look, I encourage that passion. You know, people speculate, people have fun. I mean, it's great. And we continue to encourage that level of passion for what we do.
This is accurate. This is 100% what he would say.
Yeah, probably. It's probably not too far. Someone should clip that and put them side by side on Sunday. You know? Oh, man.
We don't do anything that we don't tell you is going to happen. So, I don't know what you want us to do.
The thing is, if it was me, though, I'd be like, Paul, you had Nakamura doing GTSs. You had Seth Rollins and Corey Graves spouting iconic Punk lines. What was that about?
Hey, tough break, nigga. Stop making, you know.
Have you had any discussions with CM Punk, Mr. Levesque? Has this been something that was planned out potentially? Has Nick Khan had any conversations with the Punk camp? Have you had conversations with Punk camp or Punk directly? Was he ever scheduled to
Bruce Pritchard had any conversations?
Is he coming? Is he coming at the Rumble? What's going on here? And he's just gonna go,
look, what we do at WWE,
best product on for the fans.
We put the best product for our fans, and what we will continue to do what we need to do to provide that product.
Answer my fucking question.
Bro, I knew those shits wasn't shit when I see niggas from the bump in the fucking press conference. I was like, all right, bro, what are we doing here? This industry platform.
And they all acknowledge Roman Reigns. You know,
you knew that scrum was stinky when Fightful came out, and they said Triple H expected a Punk question at the last one and didn't get one. When they were like, "Is Taylor Swift gonna fight Io?" and people are like, what?
Yo, I need that nigga banned. He should not be a Survivor Series.
Steve's all right. He's a good dude.
No, he's not.
He is, man. He's a good dude. He has the question to pop himself and his girlfriend. And
Monty, at Elimination Chamber, he asked Triple H, "What do you think about your haters?"
Monty, what would you do if you sent me the media at AEW or fucking Survivor Series? And there was some shit that needed to be answered, like CM Punk, and I asked about Taylor Swift. What would you do?
I'll send you a list. Of questions. You ask, you divert off the list of what I send you.
Yeah, if I divert off the list and I asked about Taylor Swift, what would you do?
What's going to be the? Oh, go ahead.
You get fined, brother. You know, Charlie wanted to ask a question about tag wrestling or whatever the fuck she asked last time. You know, she got fined $1,000 and.
Monty, what's going to be this scrum's equivalent to the pickle controversy?
Oh my fucking god! These fucking pickles, man.
Is Jey Uso going to be like, "Hey, wrestling media, let me get a yeet," and they're all like, "Yeet!"
You fucking paid sheep.
You're all compliant.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Bro, I would genuinely, with the way those WWE ones got, it wouldn't astonish me if the Punk question didn't get asked again.
Bro, if they don't ask again, these people are cowards. WWE was expecting one. They literally expected it.
Hey, I don't know who's going to be in Chicago, innit? I don't know if Sean's going to be there. I don't know if Dave and Brian are going to be there. I don't know if fucking, we're not going to have any representation there, I don't think.
That's just confirmed last time because people were like, they tell them what not to ask, whatever. And Sean said, no, they don't. These people are just
it's bullshit, bro. People do it with the AEW press conferences as well. Like every press, the media didn't ask these questions because they're all shills, and they were told before they can't ask about X, Y, and Z. It's like, no, I've never heard of AEW or WWE saying don't ask about X, Y, or Z at a press conference.
Never told us that we can't ask.
Yeah, the closest.
You said something. You said what about what they can't ask?
No, AEW have never told us that we can't ask about anything. The closest it ever came was at All In, where Tony Khan was just like straight out the back of, I cannot address this thing with Jack Perry right now. Right, like, that is the closest it's ever come, in my experience, anyways.
Yeah, that's the.
Do you think being there, Charlie? Because I've never been there. You've been there. Monty has been there. Do you think there's like maybe an implicit, feeling and potentially understanding that if I ask certain things, I may never be back here?
No. You want? I wording's important, so I won't say wrestling media, because I myself was, we are, I guess, technically wrestling media. Like we, especially like with this week, like we started to put out like exclusives and stuff like that. Like we make wrestling media. We've been to these scrums, blah blah blah. So I don't like to throw all wrestling media into like one group and say, "Oh, wrestling media don't do this or don't do that." But I will say that in answer to Ibu's question about the experience of being there, it's like, I don't think there's any kind of like underlying feeling that I might not be able to come back. I just think that a lot of these people are pussies. Like no one. I don't get. Like, I guess some people just aren't that way inclined to kind of like poke at people, which is very normal. Not everyone is like that way inclined as like just as human beings, and it's kind of like poke at the bear and be like nosy and whatnot. And obviously with journalism, like that's part of it. Like you have to kind of be poking around and nosy and stuff. Whereas, and also you got to remember, like a lot of these people at these media scrums are, it's not all
journalists.
It's not all your traditional like journalists. It's like media people. Yeah, it's media people. It's podcasters. It's this. It's that. Not people who are going in there with the mindset of like, okay, here's a list of questions, and these are the things that fans and people want and should know about. They're just going in there and they're just kind of winging it as they're going along. And some people don't want to ask that awkward question, and I think even the talent and Tony and Triple H are, they've even kind of got a bit comfortable with that. Like, I didn't exactly ask Saraya about fucking her sex tapes or anything. I just asked her if she's going to fucking wrestle a bit more, and she started stuttering and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, we've now got into like this mode where it's like, if you do ask something, people are kind of like, he asked the question that should be asked. Like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
I'm looking forward to Randy's scrum because I just feel like he's going to be really funny.
Oh, my God. I can't wait.
I feel like
I might post the whole thing.
Oh, my God. Someone should ask, I'm like, what are your thoughts on Matt Riddle getting fired?
He's
Andrew said in the chat, like, Nick Hausman, like, he stands out because he actually asks questions. Because he does, like Nick Hausman, he's good at kind of what he does. I know he's trying to build this House of Wrestling website, and of course over the summer he's got a lot more spotlight because he's been he's been very close to like the Punk camp, and he's been doing a lot of like exclusives from that point of view. But just in general, like Nick Hausman's been around for ages, in part of like wrestling media, and he's a pro, and he seems like he's actually like trying to be a journalist. Do you know what I mean? Whereas a lot of these people aren't even trying, So
hi, Ibu WrestlePurists. Hunter, Randy, how were creative plans for Randy Orton's return affected by the firing of Matt Riddle, and how was he figured into what was going to happen with Randy Orton returning?
They fired my nigga Riddle? That's unfortunate.
Randy's going to get the mic and be like, I hit the roads with Matt. He's an interesting guy. I don't know what you want me to fucking say.
Bro, you know what I saw a clip of? You remember that Free at a Table or whatever? You saw that really cool series that WWE did where they'll just get like three legends just talking graps at a table. And like Randy Orton saying shit like, you know, like I realized I was old when like people started to come up to me and say like, "Yo, I used to watch you when I was a kid." You know, he was like, this one dude came up to me in like I don't know Target, Walmart, whatever the fuck, wherever Randy Orton was. He was like this dude. He was like this guy was like in his 20s. He had a beard and that. And you know who was at the table? Fucking Bruno Sammartino. And he was like, brother, I have like 8-year-old men come up to me and say that they used to watch me growing up. But yeah, I love Randy in those kind of settings, you know.
Yeah, he acts like he is old, but he acts like a super old head. You know what I mean? Like Randy swears he's like 58. You know?
Yeah, this interview was like 10 years ago, probably. Exactly. You know, like. But obviously Bruno was still alive. Do you know what I mean?
Randy in the pandemic, dude's like 38. And he's like, those NXT kids, man, they just kind of work a little too fast and they do too much leg slapping. I'm like, you're 38, bro. You're not like
you literally slap your leg on the punt. Like what?
Fuck it, whatever. I'm very excited to see him come back.
I'm also excited for Collision, brother.
Speaking of Collision, I have an announcement. I am officially I have been officially a collider. I can't do Dynamite anymore.
Oh yeah, everyone last night was like, "I'm a collider now."
Because I foresee that Collision will be the good stuff of the Continental Classic with a subdued version of the sports entertainment in between. I think it'll. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I get proven really wrong, definitely wrong, and then I'll take the L on that. But I feel like the show for the next couple weeks is going to be these great matches. And the in-between is going to just be like stuff that would fit on like ROH on Honor Club, where it's just kind of like less important wrestling rather than like just annoying segments. Dude. Again, maybe I'm wrong. But that's the vibe I feel like it's going to be.
When the Danhausen package came up, I legitimately almost ended the Twitch stream with no outro. That's how like infuriated and frustrated I was at the show. I was just like, why? After we just got Swerve and Jay Lethal wrestle, which I thought I liked the match. I don't know about everybody else, but I was just like, what the fuck are we doing, dog? Like,
absolutely.
Let's do some super chats and
let's do that.
Wrap it up. Annie Rudd, I believe. Excuse me if I'm not pronouncing that properly. 40 rupees, 5 stars. You want to see go AEW from WWE and vice versa. I feel like that will take quite a bit of time, so we'll cut it down to 2 each. Who would I like to see go from AEW to WWE? Wardlow and Wardlow and
You want me to take it from here, Mr. Montel?
Yeah, who's your two both ways?
Right. Sure. I think Keith Lee would benefit from a change of scenery, and I think so. God damn, nigga.
Sorry.
Something's gonna be that fire. I think he'd benefit from a change of scenery, and I think Malachi Black would benefit from a change of scenery too. He should probably go back to his wife.
Yeah, Malachi. Yeah, I'm going with Wardlow and Malachi, not
vice versa. I would say. Who's not doing that great that could use a change of scenery that would actually help AEW and would be doing well in AEW?
Help AEW, I'm not sure.
My answer's biased.
Tyler Bate.
I was just about to say maybe Tyler Bate because like Tyler Bate.
My answers.
The thing is, we know what Tyler Bate would be in AEW. Also, he'd be like the bi-weekly Collision guy. You know what I mean? That just has like a good match. But fuck it. Tyler Bate. And let's do I mean, obviously, like just selfishly, because I was doing it more of like who would benefit from a change of scenery. But like, if AEW could get anybody, like fucking, you take like a Dragunov or a Gunther. You know what I mean? Like why not?
My answer would literally Tyler Bate and Dragunov. So
yeah, Bate and Dragunov is actually 2 good ones. What was you saying, Rob?
He's just been in NXT, Stan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're raiding NXT, brother. But yeah, Malachi, I think, is definitely a good one. Wardlow, brother. I'm telling you.
Charlie's gonna hate this, but I think Braun Breaker in AEW would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
Bronson Steiner and AEW just calling bitches and just suplexing them.
Rex Steiner.
Bronson Rex Steiner just fucking just being booked.
He would
like,
look fucking massive in AEW, to be honest, because
that's the thing. He'd be bigger than a lot of the guys. He could be called a Steiner. He could curse and bleed. You book him like
no, because I don't need a reason to like give up on this bit. I'm too deep into the bit.
Listen.
I complimented him in a group chat the other day. That is the most you're getting from me.
Braun Breaker is what they want Wardlow to be.
Raul Cardoso said Braun Breaker's just Wardlow. He is much cooler than Wardlow.
He's way better.
And he's a way better talker.
I think they're very different.
Yeah,
they are.
Better.
He's a much better talker, and he like is just better at like doing non-wrestling on TV, in my opinion.
Braun Breaker legitimately had people believing for a week he almost killed a man, by the way.
I want to see him being booked though, like May 2022 Wardlow.
All right, Wilchies and $10 appreciated. Nothing against Sky Blue, but why can't Willow get that push? The fans love her, and she won the Owen and beat Mercedes Moné, but she's taken out after L. Man, it's very much like what we were saying earlier, man. It's a very curious choice. Sky Blue is the person that's wrestling 30-40 matches on TV, this year. Wilchies and $5 appreciate it. How Tony Storm came to AEW and have a WWE Vince McMahon gimmick. Sky Blue getting that Tiffany Stratton push low.
One is actually good. So how you?
Tony Storm came to AEW with WWE Vince McMahon gimmick. I mean, it's not. I don't think everything based off a film means Vince McMahon, But I understand where you're coming from, though, and obviously it's, I guess, interesting to look at. Hush 199, appreciate it as always. Is Mercedes a lot for AEW? I don't think so. I think it's a lot that she'll appear at some point, mate. That's not a lock.
That's the expectation.
I don't think it's a lock. I don't think it's a lock. I don't think any of it's a lock. It's fucking Mercedes, bro. Like,
Monty's been like on the fence all year about this, and like justifiably so at this point. Like when I ask people in AEW about Mercedes, I'm like, yes, that's a formality, and she'll be here about like Grand Slam, right? And they're like, no, and I'm like, Full Gear, and it's like, no, and I'm like, really? And I'm like, well, she's coming, right? And they're like, well, yeah, we expect her to, do some stuff with us when she's ready. I'm like, when's that going to be? And they're like, 2024. And I'm like, when? How long? Is this like a full-time thing? What's the deal? And the answer's like, it's up to Mercedes, and we don't know. And I'm like, what? So, wild card.
Darren Walker, £5, appreciate it. When Athena loses the title to Billy Starks, do we think Athena gets a big push on AEW TV, or do we expect her to be booked badly in 2024? Oh, you'd hope so. You would hope so, but when she does business with Starks, that she can move up to AEW TV and be booked prominently in that division because she's more than good enough, and we've already seen it. So you'd hope so, but I don't know, mate.
I hate to say it, Monty. This is starting to feel though like back when NXT was great, and like you almost dreaded the call up for the great wrestler because you're like worried about how they're going to do on the main roster. I'm kind of worried on like Athena on Dynamite.
She's a collider, brother.
Oh, we might be cooking, man.
Thank God.
Athena and Thunder Rose are going to start and carry this division to the promised land. Let me tell you. Speaking of Thunder Rosa, can they hurry up and fucking... Bro.
Did she get cleared in the end?
Bro, it's been reported. She's been cleared for ages. They've just got nothing for her.
Charlie, she's been ready to go since like late August.
Oh, she's not timeless, so that's why.
She's not timeless. She's not been misted like Sky Blue has. So it's
same thing. Same thing with Willow, by the way. They're not. She's not timeless.
She did get misted though.
She did get misted, but she was too real. She was too real for the mist.
She rejected it.
Monty, someone posted Triple H at a scrum and posted a quote. It said, "You see, it's a business, and we as a business always want to do the right thing for the best interest of our fans. I can't speak to him, but wish him all the best in whatever he wants to do next. Like I say, never say never." I could see him saying that.
Darren Walker, £4, appreciate it. The problem with the Continental Classic, there's no big prize at the end. Could have the winner get a world title shot at Revolution, having defend the prize until pay. Bro,
What are you talking about, Darren? What are you talking about?
The winner gets the Triple Crown title, bro. Like, you get free belts. Like,
it's free belts.
A little bit off on that one, Darren, but it's an early podcast today, so we'll let you off. Will Cheese on $5. Appreciate it. Eo's reaction of that Taylor Swift question was like, "Are you kidding me?" It took Bailey and Dakota to get her to answer. Yeah, she called him crazy. She's like, "Are you crazy?"
Like, are you crazy?
I mean, I think I've got it saved. Also. Anyway, yeah, let's wrap it up then. 2 hours 15 in. AEW Dynamite review, Continental Classic got underway. We had the return of the Hooper, who was gone to make his Thanksgiving food. Ibu passed through, Rob passed through, me and Charlie. We just don't miss dates, We just do not miss these dates, brother, unless you're out the country.
Yeah.
And even then, you pulled up for a bit.
I did turn up for a bit.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys for tuning in to this early edition of the WrestlePurists Podcast, Thanksgiving edition. Hope you guys in the States are all having a wonderful Thanksgiving and have a great dinner. And you can have a loving... What?
There's one last super chat.
There's one last super chat?
Yeah, I think there's one more super chat.
Custodian X is King for 99. Appreciate it. Shout out to my big bro, Rob. Of course. That's the one that Rob pulls up. Come through to the PC. I'll introduce you to everyone, fam.
I need to go to the parties. I already got my nostrils ready, brother. It's time.
God bless. Rob's going to be in touch. But yeah, man. WrestlePurists Podcast, episode 106. Please like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. I always kind of get carried away and don't plug that enough. But please like the video on the way out. It does help us out. Subscribe if you haven't already. That goes without saying. Thank you for all the super chats that we've got. And man, we will be back probably. We'll be back tomorrow. Should be back tomorrow if we've got enough things to talk about with Joe Hall. But Friday evening, there's no Rampage because they moved it to Saturday. So Saturday, we'll probably be doing like a big watch along on the Twitch as well. So keep an eye on the WrestlePurists page. And we will be back tomorrow. Like, subscribe. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for watching. Peace.